by the way. I'm gonna do a little intro bit and then
Are we
I'll
on
hit
Surge
record.
or are we on a gaming outlet?
We're on gaming outlet, twitch.tv/gaming outlet. You can watch live if you'd like. You may also follow us if you'd like. That's up to you, though.
What's
We
a
don't
gaming
really care
outlet?
either way. I'm gonna be your MC of the night, ladies and gents.
Oh god, he's the master creamer.
I've got the controls for the stream layout.
Oh.
I can insert memes if necessary onto the stream layout, but we're just gonna talk for who knows how long about that new Nintendo Direct that just came out today,
Oh god.
gentlemen. And I'd like to preface the show, good words, by saying I'm super happy that we get a sequel to the Year of Luigi, being the Year of the Octolinks, 2018. And yeah, that's it. So, today I'm your host. I'm your host, Sir Serge Gabe McDowell, and I'm joined by Melvin. I'm joined by Tonio.
Wow, just Melvin. Okay, you know
Wow,
what?
just
Unless you wanted.
It's not like I'm
Wow.
Dead Slayer 76.
Okay, yeah. Well, we're joined by Dad Slayer 76 and also Prime Man.
Actually, I don't even
19.
know what my YouTube name is anymore.
I don't think even you know what your YouTube name is.
I never knew what it was either.
It can't be your dad, so it's like that's what it was originally gonna be. It was just gonna be your dad here with another hit, hot, and happening Let's Play. But nope.
Was that already taken?
I don't know. It wasn't. I do have like a YouTube channel with your dad, but your dad just doesn't have that ring. You know, your dad isn't hip.
It's not hip to be your dad, huh?
I know your dad is not. Your dad is not prominent in the scene. It's like then everyone's gonna be like, "Oh wow, your dad is a daddy kink."
Wow. Well,
Actually, you know what? That's gonna be my YouTube name. I'm now your dad.
okay. Well, welcome to the show, everyone. If you decide to show up, or if you're watching this from Gaming Outlet, post-show, we still appreciate you showing up. There was a Nintendo Direct today, as I already stated. It's good to repeat yourself, but there was a shit ton of stuff out of it today, and we have a list in front of us over all the things. We'll talk about every little detail, but just as a general kind of review, I guess, if you were to give it your outlet score that you always that we always post on our reviews, how would you give an outlet score to this Nintendo Direct? And of course, I know Smash in and of itself, I know spoilers, but Smash in and of itself is like super massive, but outside of Smash, how would you say this Direct was?
All right, Smash. There's no Smash. What are you talking about?
Oh right, sorry. That was just the Splatoon 1 trailer again.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, it was a Splatoon. Anyway, I'll give it like
A what?
I'll
You
give
cut
it
out.
an A minus.
A minus, okay. What about your dad?
Let's see. What does your dad rate it, Tony? No. No. I kind of am similar in range where it's A, because it conveyed all the information that needed to be conveyed. It was clean and crisp and entertaining at parts.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I'm always like one of those people who just don't want to give anything A's ever. But yeah, it was an A. It was an A for me. I like minus the Smash. I'm not actually as excited for the Smash port.
All right, you just like lost half of our audience. They're now murdering us. So thanks for
your
that.
dad isn't excited for Smash.
You need to go back to Dad Slayer. For me personally, at first it was like it was like, okay, this is cool, and then it's like, oh, this is all right, and then it's like, oh, and then it's like, oh, and then it's like, oh, but then it was like, oh,
yeah, and
then so I would probably give it just about flat A myself. Before Smash.
Let me add into this though. It's like it's not that I'm not excited for Smash, but Smash is it wasn't like, oh my god, my reason for buying a Switch has finally come to fruition.
Right.
No, like this is a nice.
I mean, it will sell though. It'll sell a lot of
Definitely
Switches.
another bullet in the revolver that is the Switch.
Right.
But yeah, no, like I'm glad it's happening. Don't get me wrong when I say I'm not as excited. It's just I really like the Wii U port.
Well, was the Wii U really a port?
Or Wii,
Like of the
Wii-
3DS
Wii U,
version?
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
Your dad only plays 3DS.
Well, see, I guess we can get into Smash because that's what everyone
Just get out of
that's
the
what
way.
everyone's really wanting to know. Smash was, I mean, I was on the boat. Like I did a stream before the direct, well, yesterday, I guess. And I was strongly sailing the ship that we're not going to be seeing Smash till E3. And I mean, lo and behold, we're all wrong. Here it is. Here is Smash.
Yeah,
It's
that's the thing
glory.
I noticed, like Nintendo's doing here. They're like focusing less on the big like conferences,
hmm
and they're doing these directs. And I actually very much prefer this direct format versus the once a year conference format.
Well, they haven't been doing E3 conferences for a while. I mean, they do their Nintendo Direct, sure, but I mean, the only like recent conference that we had that January thing in 2017, but
Yeah.
I think that's really it since like maybe 2008.
I mean, I remember Nintendo was like rocking this last E3 though.
Yeah. But yeah, Smash is big, of course. Even though I was like, nah, Smash isn't gonna happen. That
Yeah.
I specifically stated that. Well, if it does happen, I'm not gonna complain. I like Smash Bros.
Yeah, Gabe likes
But-
losing to your dad at Smash.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel
but-
like before today, I was always on the position that it was actually maybe too soon for Smash, like in terms of expectations. Because put it this way, Super Smash Brothers for Wii U and 3DS came out in 2014. But unlike the other entries, not only was there just so much thrown into both versions, but there's also for DLC for the next 2 years after that.
right. Like Smash 4
That's-
didn't really end development till 2016. So
I just felt like
this is incredible.
with how
To be
much
fair though,
content-
we don't
Yeah.
have a date on this.
Yeah, all we know is 2018. We also don't even have an official title.
Well, wait, they said oh shit, I didn't see the 2018 part.
It's 2018, and I guess the other thing
God
is
dang. I think
I've only-
Sorry, go ahead.
go on.
I was saying, if it's this soon, then there's a very high chance that a lot of this is going to be ported over from 4.
I would think that, but then we don't know if it's a port yet. And
Mhm.
here's the thing: if you go on like Nintendo's website or something, there's a whole new Smash category, and under it says Super Smash Brothers working title. It doesn't say Super Smash Brothers for Nintendo Switch. Like, it wouldn't be that hard. It would take less time to make a new logo that says Super Smash Brothers for Nintendo Switch than it would to render out that trailer. Like,
True.
so
If you go,
so
to,
that tells me that it's going to be a new game. Plus, if I noticed that if you listen to like really closely, when like it's showing the characters in the flames and stuff, you can hear a little bit of a new melody. Now, this could just be nothing. It could just be flavor for the trailer, but I'm pretty sure that this means we're getting new Smash Bros. Like all new. Maybe not like as like hugely difference between Brawl and Smash 4, but I think we'll get a pretty good installment here. And honestly, I'm okay if it's a port of Smash 4, but I'm really leaning that this is going to be more new content and less just a combination of the two like everyone was thinking.
I feel like it's also the potential is there for this to actually be new, because like I've only saw like a couple analyzations before, like just a couple before right now, and one pointed out that like in the trailer they specifically hide all the other characters in the background with the flames, and it just begs the question of why.
Well,
Right.
the thing is though, you still have to admit that this out of like all the Smashes though, this one is going to primarily feel like Smash 4. I feel like a lot of their engine is just going to be borrowed from that game though.
Which is all right, because
that's what I was primarily meant to. I mean, I also wouldn't doubt that. I mean, there's a possibility of it just being a port. There always is, but there is like a lot of effort going into this to make me think that it might not be.
And I mean, even if it is a Smash 4, like mostly port, as far as the physics are fine,
I mean,
or
if
are
they keep
concerned,
adding
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, like if they just keep adding characters, I'm down.
Mm-hmm.
Smash 4 played and controlled beautifully. Like, I don't think it really needs to evolve further.
No, it's not melee controls, so it's automatically unplayable. Get out.
Well, it's like almost as if this game wasn't melee.
Nah, I'm not like that, actually.
We're not pre-ordering it.
Nope.
Switch canceled. I'm selling my Switch. Because it's not Melee HD.
I think for this game, all they need to do...
What if it is Melee HD?
What if it's just Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, where it has all the characters and all the stages, and just everything from every Smash Bros, all the cut content. We're gonna get those plusle and minus like Pokemon characters that we were supposed to get in Melee. We're gonna finally get Tails, which happened in Melee, apparently. Someone told me. It's good. It'll be great.
The Sonic stuff for Melee was like an April Fool's thing.
Yeah, I know. It was just people. It was like playground rumors, but still.
Why can't we have a Shadow the Hedgehog skin for Sonic?
Yeah, we're gonna get Shadow. Snake's gonna come back. I'm predicting this now. If it doesn't come to fruition, you guys can all unsubscribe and ban me. You have my word.
This game only needs Waluigi. That's it.
Yes. Waluigi and Ridley.
Waluigi.
Just those two.
Just those two. They don't even need to have Mario. Fuck Mario.
Yeah, Mario was just there. He's just actually a stage. You play on his face.
You play on like the face in the Mario 64 title screen.
Or like the spaceship from Mario Galaxy 2.
No, but I think Smash will be pretty interesting.
More
I'm
like
sure
Mario Odyssey 2. Quick, get us a really bad looking Mario clone up on the screen. Hurry, one of us.
All right, I'll look for one.
Bad Mario drawings. Some of these are actually pretty good, and then the rest of it is inappropriate.
Here we go. I got us the very famous one that everyone knows and loves. Everyone knows and loves our good friend Granddad. That'd be great.
Oh, Gabriel grounded.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think now that we've talked about the greatest thing in the gosh heckin' universe, let's swap to some actual topics.
Back on like
that's spicy.
Like WarioWare Gold.
Yes.
Yeah, let's start from the top of the list and kind of go in order here, excluding Smash. And they opened up the direct with Mr. Koizumi, ya boy.
I haven't seen him in
came
forever.
Up to the show, right?
I love him.
And he's back. He's back,
like,
and he's
hey, handsome.
He's here, right? And then he's like, "We got some games for you." And starting off with WarioWare Gold, which the logo kind of looked generic, but everything else looked really cool about it.
It kind of has a really good, like a classic sense to it, like a classic look to the graphics.
Oh yeah, it looks like it's a
upgraded, enhanced version of the original WarioWare for the Game Boy Advance.
It does borrow a lot of minigames from that, as well as later installments, and then it also has some new ones. They said that there was 300 games, micro games in the game, which would be the most in the series, which is absolutely incredible. I'm a huge fan of WarioWare. It's I'm a huge fan of WarioWare personally. I've played all of the games except one of the, it was like a DS one, like touched, I think, where it was like only touchscreen controls. I didn't play that one, but I played all the other ones. Super big fan of Smooth Moves on Wii. I've streamed that a couple of times.
We've definitely done our fair share of that back in your old house.
And then I have the original WarioWare on 3DS Ambassador, which is really fun.
Fuck you and your ambassador. Wait, Shay, are we allowed to say the F word?
I mean, it's live, so just don't overdo it, I guess.
We get 3
Nintendo. Don't mess this up. You messed up Mario Party, from what I hear. So.
Oh, which one?
Yeah, Mario Party Top 100. This is basically Top 100's idea, but actually good. That's what this WarioWare game is.
Shots fired!
Don't mess this up, Nintendo, okay?
Well, what do you guys think of WarioWare Gold?
I think the Switch. We'll get a WarioWare.
It'd be
Switch,
perfect
actually.
on the Switch.
No, I actually don't think so. But I think the 3DS is perfect for it. Let's be honest here. It's got that slower screen, and because of that, that's the only reason why they can do so many creative, like, unique games with that.
I'm curious, did they ever say that there was going to be, like, download play or any of that, like local play with other 3DSs?
I didn't see anything.
Because, I mean, I
didn't see anything multiplayer related with it.
I like WarioWare, but I prefer it multiplayer. Like, it's a lot more just, like, off the wall, like, whoa, you gotta pick this dude's nose, what?
WarioWare is a party game.
Then again,
indeed.
I don't know how that would really work now that I think about it. Like on the 3DS, like
I'm
like
sure
would you
there's
just
a
take
way.
turns doing micro games,
Probably
or
that, or like everyone's gonna do the micro games at the same time, so you can do it faster.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Okay, that's a good idea. Maybe.
I don't know. I think it's more like a survival thing. Definitely, everyone plays the same one games until they screw up the most.
Right. Like it could be like those the elephant mini games that we've played on stream a few times, where it's just like here's all the mini games, and then here's a little challenge with these mini games. Like you gotta go super fast, or you gotta do it in quick succession. That's the same thing, or like they're all the super hard ones.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's your opinions, Prime Man?
Experience with WarioWare, so I can't really say much. It's kind of why I haven't said a whole lot about it, but
well, you're about to have it because you're gonna do the review, right? With that 3DS you totally have.
I don't have a 3DS.
Well, you're gonna have one now. Obviously, I'm gonna buy you one so you can do the review.
Isn't the 3DS on its way out anyway?
So, I mean, it should be, but Nintendo's like, here, let's make more games.
I'm sure they'll keep making games, and then eventually.
I think that's not going to die out. Surprisingly, they said they were going to take care of it. This is their way of taking care of it.
I mean, there's not a whole lot on 3DS coming up, but I mean, we still got some interesting things. And another thing is like the 3DS is also a good like. You don't have to make your games super graphically impressive, so it's kind of like an easy indie location, I guess. And plus, the whole 2 screens thing is something that's just like, when that is finally gone, I'm actually gonna kind of miss it. Even though I would prefer for everything to be on Switch, or mostly, anyways. Like once dual screen gaming is gone, I'm gonna miss it. I'm not gonna lie.
I think I'm gonna miss. Okay, dual screen gaming was amazing for any game that has a mini map.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that is just
Or like being able to manage your inventory and like Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD.
And like quick swapping every goddamn time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, if that's all that we have to say about WarioWare, the next game.
Big Bambino.
Yeah.
It's me, Bambino.
Nope, that's it. I quit. Quitting gaming outlet. Nope.
See you later.
Nope.
Bye.
Your dad
next,
quit gaming outlet.
Your dad has left the game.
Outlet.
Well, speaking of leaving the game, that was a bad transition. It also doesn't make sense. But
Dylan's Dead Heat Breakers.
May 24th. Also, WarioWare is slated for August 3rd, 2018.
The game looks wonderful, except for the Mii's.
Yeah, I don't understand the Fermies, as I like to call them.
Fermies.
I don't even know who this Dylan dude is. Like, what?
I have had very little interaction with it. I've played one of his games before. He's from a different console, I think.
I thought Dylan's Rolling Western was a 3DS like indie game that, like, it's all right. Like, Dylan is like an assist trophy in Smash, the armadillo fellow. He's in Smash as an assist trophy.
No, it wasn't 3DS. You're right.
And then, yeah, I think it was just like an almost like second party kind of indie almost
Yeah, it looks like
game.
I looked it up a little bit. It looks very like. I don't know. It looks like it just looks like it would be better if it didn't have the Fermies.
Yeah. I don't know. I just didn't realize. I was just like, oh. Hello,
yeah,
dude.
Personally, I've never played any of the Dylan's games. I know that people have played them and that they're pretty all right, but I've never exactly heard anyone like rave and like super suggest it to me. So
I've never heard anything good or bad about it, though. It's the thing.
Yeah, I just kind of haven't really heard about it.
Like, that's it. It just exists while you're too busy playing or looking at a fucking Smash logo for an hour.
Right.
That's always the scary part about the games that you haven't heard about, though. It's like there's no idea. Like Prey, for instance, I have this problem with the game Prey, where I haven't heard anything good or bad about it, but I know it exists. So I can't tell you if Prey is good or not. And it scares me because I want this game to be good if I were to go and try it.
Right.
But
I mean, we can all, well, all of us with 3DSs anyways, we can all actually give it a shot for free on May 10th. Because they're apparently also dropping a demo with it, so I'll probably give it a shot. I don't know if I'll like give it a shot on stream or anything like that, but I would definitely just be like, oh, let's see what this game's all about.
Play a little bit of it off stream, and if you like it, put it on.
Yeah, like if I like the demo, I might stream the whole game or something like that, maybe.
The demo.
But does anyone have anything else on Dylan's Dead Heat? I almost said Heartbreakers.
I mean,
but no, it's Dead Heat Breakers.
The game looks a lot of fun. It's just I'm extremely turned off by the fact that your Furbies are prominent characters.
And you can get your friends in on the action too.
Yeah, I don't want my friends in my game. I hate those guys. Like, god dang.
I just want to get like a Daniel Radcliffe dog. That's all I need.
Oh, jeez. That comes out on May 24th, ladies and guys.
Yeah. May 24th, not too far away, I guess. Just another slot to fill, I suppose.
I guess we're gonna get the inside scoop on the next game coming up on the list.
Yeah.
We'll forget about this next game until it comes out.
Yeah, probably. So if anyone paid attention to last year's E3, during E3 on the Nintendo Treehouse show, they unveiled that they were going to be remaking the original Mario and Luigi's RPG on Game Boy Advance. And that actually came out kind of silently, except for the fact that like one dude leaked the ROM, and that led to a huge mess where like now Nintendo doesn't really give out review copies anymore. But at least not to smaller channels. Unrelated, but Nintendo must have thought that that dude leaking the ROM was so cool that they wanted to remake another game in the franchise. So immediately they come to announce that Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story is going to be remade, as well as similar to the like Bowser's Minions mode from the original, well, the port of Superstar Saga. There's now a Bowser Jr.'s Journey mode, I guess. We didn't really see too much about it, but we know it's coming.
It looks good, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks fun.
I actually did not get to catch that visually with the Direct, because I actually listened to most of the Direct because I was at work when it was happening, but there was a lot that I went back and rewatched, but unfortunately, that was not something that I got to catch. What did they show the Bowser Jr.'s journey segment at all?
Of it.
Yeah, a little bit of it, not too much of it though.
What do you guys think about that part specifically?
The action looks smooth, and I wasn't quite sure if it still kept the RPG gameplay because it looked
This game originally.
What do you say, Prime Man? You kind of cut out at the beginning.
Oh, I was saying I never actually played the original Mario Luigi, but I never played either on the Game Boy.
Actually, Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story is a really good game. That's actually my favorite of the Mario and Luigi games. Granted, I'm not a super huge fan of all the different ones. I've only played that Superstar Saga and a little bit of Dream Team. So I'm missing out on Partners in Time and Paper Jam, which I didn't hear that Paper Jam was super great or anything.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything too good about it either.
But Bowser's Inside Story was a really good game, and it's a game that I lent to Melvin like 2 years ago, and he still never gave it back. So I'm looking forward to, in 2019, actually getting it back and playing it for myself.
It's really...
Yeah.
What do you did you ever, how far did you get when you played Inside Story, Mel?
It's sitting in my DS Lite right now. I think I got to the final boss.
Yeah, I never actually beat the game because the final boss was like super hard, but I ended up like looking up the ending eventually.
I don't remember how far I got. I remember I stopped playing it though because I was like, oh, Fire Emblem.
All these other games coming out. Which, speaking of, to derail a little bit, to derail a little bit, there was no Fire Emblem news, like, at all today.
That's fine, no. Like, as a fan of Fire Emblem, we have had so much Fire Emblem news, and, like, so many Fire Emblem games, and stuff like that. It's good to give them a break for a minute and let them, like, go and develop some stuff that isn't a remake from an old game that kind of turned out to be mediocre.
Mm-hmm. Like, oh well, I liked Echoes enough, but yeah, I do hope that this next Fire Emblem game is going to be super spectacular. When they announced it last year, did they specifically say that it was going to be this year, 2018, or did they just say eventually? Because they announced it last year, back in January of last year, and so it's been a year and we still don't know anything about it, so that's my big thing about Fire Emblem.
Find out. So.
Oh yeah, it's fine. No, we give them some time. They need it. They need all the time they can get.
I have a feeling it'll probably be at E3.
They had something to show off. They're already coming out with loaded guns for this console. They got so mad about the Wii U stinking that they're like, you know what? Hit him with Project Get Good.
They said 2018.
Okay, so if we don't hear about it, unless they just like do like a Super Smash Brothers Melee kind of thing where they announce it and then 2 months later, oh, there it is. I don't think we'll probably see Fire Emblem this year at this point. I don't know. What do you guys think?
They might do a little. I don't know. We might have another direct coming eventually.
Maybe.
If there is another direct, I don't expect it to be too big.
Yeah, it might just have another straight just Fire Emblem only direct. They've done like game specific directs before.
Right, and then there's also probably going to be a Pokemon Direct because Pokemon Company usually likes to announce things on their own accord.
Which is fair. Pokemon is a big boy game. Pokemon is for boys that are big.
Yeah.
That is true.
I'm playing the demo to Kirby right now.
Speaking of Pokemon.
Oh, the Star Allies.
Wait,
yeah,
hold on, Gabe, cut that out. Cut that part out. We're not there yet. Give me another 10 minutes. And then we'll talk about Kirby.
This is live, I hope you know.
I know. Shh. Gabe, keep going.
Well,
Pokemon.
yeah, well, speaking of Pokemon, we next up heard about Detective Pikachu.
I'm gonna do a quick attack.
Pikachu.
Yeah, I love that actually.
Did
I do good?
Did I do good, Jim?
Or in grade school gym class.
Yeah, Detective Pikachu.
Fat kid running the mile.
Detective Pikachu definitely looks interesting. I don't know if I'll get it myself. but it definitely looks like a good game. I've heard a lot of
definitely buying it. You can borrow it off me if you don't want to buy it.
Okay. I've definitely heard a lot of people who imported the Japanese version, because if you didn't know, this game came out like 2 years ago in Japan. But at the time it was episodic, so what this game has to be the first 3 chapters was actually the entirety of the Japanese release. And so now we're getting those first 3 chapters as a part of this new Detective Pikachu, as well as, I think they said 7 other additional chapters, so like 10 in total or something like that. Don't quote me for the exact number, but it's something like that.
Yeah.
So we're getting essentially 3 times the content here in North America, and it's kind of unfortunate that Japan has to buy it again, but at least they get 2 additional games alongside this purchase.
That's fair,
So,
I feel like. I'm sure it'd probably get a discounted price in Japan.
yeah.
But, I mean, I don't care. You can try to go and import that ROM over from China. Not China, Japan. Sorry. No, but as far as I'm concerned, I want my gruff and tough Pikachu voice actor.
Yeah, do we know who that is? It's not Ryan Reynolds, for anyone curious who might have heard about Ryan Reynolds voicing Detective Pikachu in the movie, which is entirely separated, actually not even like directed by anyone from the Detective Pikachu staff. Like, that just kind of came up, and then it's like, well, you need a topic, here's a game that we're kind of working on, and they're like, yeah. So the movie itself is supposed to be like separate from the game, but it'll be fun all the same.
Damn it! There's only news for the Japanese voice actor, not actually like the American one. I want to know.
Yeah, I'm curious that once that movie comes out, we need to do like comparisons of which Detective Pikachu was the real Detective Pikachu.
This time with an outlet theory.
What about you, Prime Man? What did you think of Detective Pikachu? Because I imagine you probably didn't see too much about it beforehand.
Honestly, I mean, I have seen a lot of it beforehand. Honestly, I just think it's weird. I think it's weird. Like, I'm not used to Pikachu talking. I'm not used to Pikachu being a detective. I just think it's really weird.
I haven't heard much about this game outside of today either. That was the thing.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, it was kind of silent. Nintendo announced it coming to the States a couple of directs ago, and then it was quiet on it again. And then like a month or so ago, they announced that massive amiibo, which is like triple the size of a normal Pikachu amiibo.
You know, I'm down to buy that amiibo though, just because it's cute. I want to squeeze it, and I want it to go, Charlie, we gotta get out of here.
I don't know if it's squishy like the Metroid amiibo.
It's probably not.
But
it's probably like rock hard, probably.
You know what else
as
is
amiibos
rock hard?
are.
The foundation that this game was made upon, because this is a solid game that'll be really good.
That was a good one. I'm gonna write that one down.
Good.
Thank you.
I am the funny one out of this group.
Well, you can be funny in just a couple of weeks, actually, because the game actually comes out
very soon.
March 23rd. Which I guess if you're looking forward to it, you don't got much longer of a wait.
Hey guys,
what's up?
I just want a raffle.
What?
I want a raffle. You know what I get?
What do you get?
I get a mansion.
What? You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah. Oh wait, I just want a copy of Luigi's Mansion. Never mind.
Hey, I mean, that's pretty good in its own right.
I actually didn't win. I just wanted to transition.
Well, you won my heart with that one, so thank you. Luigi's Mansion 2018. There's no subtitle or any of it. It's just straight up. It's a port of Luigi's Mansion from the GameCube, which was one of my favorite GameCube games. I know it didn't blow up with everyone, but most people like it. In fact, when I talk to most Luigi's Mansion fans, if it's between Dark Moon or the original, most people seem to say the original.
Original for days. I don't know. Back when Dark Moon seems very arcade-like. is the thing.
Right.
Which, speaking of which, there is an actual Japanese arcade cabinet for Luigi's Mansion.
I've seen that, actually. My sister is currently in Japan, and she sent me videos of her playing that arcade game, and I'm like, wow, that's incredible. Like, if you haven't seen it, it's basically just like, it takes like the Gloomy Manor Mansion, the first one from Dark Moon, and then basically you like just go around, and then it's like you vacuum up ghosts, and you can play. It's a 2-player arcade, sit down with a machine, kind of like the Star Wars Pod Racers. And basically you just like you shine your light on the ghosts, and then you have like an actual like little vacuum thing in front of you in the arcade cabinet, and you do the suck, and
you do the sucky
suck.
But Luigi's Mansion 3DS 2018, it caught me off guard. I was like, wait, what, really? Luigi's Mansion? Like, I wasn't expecting it.
I wasn't expecting it on the slightest, but I'm so happy that they're doing this, though.
Right?
That'll be great.
It's the one game on the 3DS list of all of them that I'm like, okay, maybe this one could have also been on Switch. I'm not complaining necessarily. I'll still play it. I'll still love it on 3DS. But it would have been also nice to see it in HD.
Too, yeah.
I think people are just waiting for GameCube Virtual Console or whatever, assuming it happens. But I think people are just saying, "Oh, they should just do that."
I think
maybe that's something.
They will eventually. I'm sure they will. Because I mean, where else are they going to go with this unless they just give us a Wii Virtual Console?
Cube.
Let's just get ports of all the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games and only those games.
Yeah, only those.
I'll be good.
Let's not play anything else.
It does.
Gaming Outlet, tune into our legacy review of Mario Pokemon Dungeon Master.
One thing they did add, it's mostly just a port from what we can tell, but we do actually see that there is a new boss rush mode added into it. I don't know how much replayability that necessarily adds. I don't think in and of itself, if you weren't really planning on picking up this game as just a straight port, that really changes your mind. But I think I'm planning on picking it up simply because I love the original Luigi's Mansion so much. But if I wasn't really clamoring to play it, because it's been like 3 or 4 years since I've gone through it myself. So if I wasn't clamoring to play it right now, this probably wouldn't appeal to me as much as it is right now.
There really hasn't been like a good source to play it besides going back and actually playing the original version, though. So
right.
It's really, really pleasant to be able to just pop this into my 3DS and be like, ah!
Yeah, I can't wait to call for Mario on the subway again.
Mario!
So when are we getting Super Mario Sunshine remake in Nintendo? Actually,
I don't know.
Actually, don't do that one. I mean, I kind of want that because I loved Mario Sunshine, but
I would love it, but I'm cautiously optimistic. Like, there's some parts of me that's like if you remember from like some pre-release stuff from Mario Odyssey, you could see like Delfino Island on the map, implying it was going to be a kingdom. But then as the game started getting closer to release, that Delfino Island disappeared from the map, implying either it was cut content or something. I would personally love it if as DLC for Mario Odyssey.
DLC for that. That sounds like it'd be a good idea.
Yeah, that we could just have the entirety of Delfino Island as a kingdom, which would be cool because in Mario Sunshine, like you had to take like teleporters and stuff to get to all the different locales on the island. And you could see the places from a distance, but there's other places that kind of didn't fit in together. Like Bianco Hills is just kind of like all on its own, and then like you can barely see many of the other locations from the Pianta Village unless you get like really high up in the level. So it would be nice if like in Mario Odyssey, if we got it remade and like instead of having to go to like teleporters to the different parts, we could just actually like walk over there or swim over there. That might be asking for a little too much because I mean in general the island is kind of big, but it's also not that much bigger out of comparison to some of the kingdoms like the Sand Kingdom, where it would be straight up impossible.
Precisely.
What do you think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that'd be pretty interesting to see. And if there is any more Mario Odyssey stuff, then it'll probably just be at E3, because I was expecting something from Mario Odyssey today. But
I don't know. I did not expect anything from Mario Odyssey, actually. I think
the developers
primarily already released information on it. I don't think they're going to do any more for a while. Unless it's just
the developers stated that they wanted to actually, or they were considering, this was like only a week ago, they were considering releasing paid DLC, but they hadn't decided on it as of the interview like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So it was very recent that the idea was there. So I immediately, unless Nintendo was just being stupid, which is possible, or like trying to trick us, but it was in my head that Mario Odyssey DLC, if it is coming, is not ready yet to be shown.
Which is fair.
paying attention to the news, so
I think if anything, one of the DLC packs will definitely be geared towards nostalgia.
Yeah. Like, we already have a little bit of Mario 64 in the game, and then, like,
I
Mario
did
Sunshine.
just beat Mario Odyssey, and that is... Spoiler, that is, they drop you off at the end of that. At the end of the game, you just show up in Peach's castle.
Right.
And, it's dope. It's great. It's cool. I love the fact that I can just buy a 64-bit Mario outfit.
Right? I love just walking around in the 64
and just going back
polygons.
to all the locations.
And then when you talk to Luigi, he's like, have I seen that before?
Yeah, or like if you go to Paulina, she'll have some interesting reactions, I'm sure. She's like, Mario, you're looking a little older today, boy.
Well, as much of Odyssey is not Luigi's Mansion, I think we wrapped up all of the 3DS. Yes, believe it or not, only 5 3DS announcements, at least off the bat. There was a few things down the road,
there was
but
like one. Yeah,
there was a couple. But immediately following ending off Luigi's Mansion, they went into some deets on Kirby Star Allies, which comes out next week. Which, for some reason, I had in the back of my head. I could have sworn that they said April, but no, it's coming out March 16th.
Speaking of which, I'm actually playing that right now.
Yeah, playing the demo.
I'm gonna say it's fluid. It's very fluid.
I will say, from my demo, after like coming off of like what was it? The 2 3DS ones. I didn't play Robobot, but I did play Triple Deluxe. It does feel a little weird going from a buttery smooth 60 FPS the whole entire game to it's only 30 when you're playing. Like, I would have loved if they did something like Fire Emblem Warriors, where like you could choose. Like, I think that should be a norm between like almost all games these days.
The full game.
No, the full game actually runs that way as well. It's been confirmed by the
that's kind of
people who have it early.
That's a little bit turn off.
I mean, it doesn't look awful, but running in 30 FPS. But it is definitely noticeable if you have played the 3DS ones. Like, oh wow, this is 30 FPS. But oddly enough, Nintendo says, oh, the game's 60 FPS, and they're not wrong, because the menus are 60 FPS. I don't know why, but the menus run at 60 FPS. It's been deframed, decoded. It's legitimately 60 FPS menu screens. I do not know why.
But so far, I'm trying it out. I think I love the fact that you can combo like your minion buddy dudes with you in a combination with your moves.
Mm-hmm.
I was just running with the fire sword like 10 seconds ago, hacking and slashing my way through dudes, and it's like, oh, okay.
Speaking of buddies, they confirmed that there's going to be Dream Buddies or whatever they called it.
The Dream Friends?
Dream Friends are classic Kirby characters made
so
into
you get
allies, like Meta Knight and DDD.
Meta Knight, DDD, Bandana D are all going to be, I think, on cartridge, like when the game comes out.
That's going to be
and then
updates.
shortly after, they're gonna update the game for an untold amount of time. Who knows how long that'll be? I assume decently long enough.
I think that'd be really cool though if they just keep adding characters from the game and
right? Like, so we got DDD, Meta Knight, Bandana D, and then we also have Rick, Kine, Ku, Marks, and Gooey, who is definitely the slime from Dragon Quest.
Take that back!
And we got those characters coming out on March 28th. All 5 of those characters actually will be available March 28th.
Your dad is quitting gaming outlet.
But yeah, Kirby Star Allies comes out like next week, which is super hype, and then Dream Friends are pretty cool. I loved in Kirby 64 the segments where it's like, oh, you got to play as or you got to piggyback on DDD. That was pretty cool. So I speaking of Kirby 64 and the Dream Friends, I want to make a prediction.
Oh, I
think we're gonna.
Holy crap!
What's that?
Your little AI buddies will actually pair off each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like the AIs are smart, and of course the game is 4-player co-op as well, which we'll definitely have to try.
Online co-op?
No, it does not.
Damn. All right, keep going with your thing. Sorry.
One thing I would really like to see, and this is my official outlet sealed prediction, is that speaking of Kirby 64, is we're gonna get Adenine or Adenine, whatever her name was, the painter girl that appeared as a boss in Dreamland 3, I think it was, and then she was also a side character in Kirby 64. I think we'll see her, especially since there's the artist ability in the game, which is very clearly like, it's like, oh, this power is kind of reminiscent of her. I never played all of the Kirby games. I think we'll probably see, well, I mean, we have Bandana D, so that was really the only thing new from the Wii one. I don't think we might, but I'm gonna say we're probably not gonna get anything from Kirby's Epic Yarn. I don't think that's very likely. I mean, it's not impossible, but
maybe a full version of the Prince dude that was with you for most of it.
Yeah, like maybe like a fully like modeled version of him, but I don't think they'll like make him his yarn form or any of that if he is to appear.
I feel like it'd just be like a weird translation if they kept the yarn form. Like it just wouldn't look necessarily right.
Yeah. I'm curious though, like I mean, obviously I think probably out of the 3 of us I've probably played the most Kirby games.
Now, hold up, sir. Yeah, you probably have. But I'd probably come in like a second because Kirby was.
I'm up there. I've played almost all of them.
Okay. Well, really the only ones I haven't played are the Game Boy ones.
Okay.
The original Game Boy trilogy.
Oh, I played.
I've played the original Game Boy trilogy. I've done all the Super Nintendo ones. I've played Kirby 64. I loved Air Riders. You put infinitely more time with that than I did though.
I loved Air Ride. I got all the unlockables in Air Ride. I actually did that because like I got the game from my uncle, and then like coming up in like 2 weeks, like I was having a whole bunch of friends over, and I'm like, all right, I gotta unlock everything so we can play with everyone and we can have what we want. I sat there and grinded everything out, but it was a fun time.
I think I stopped around maybe the 3DS ones after Triple Deluxe.
So you didn't get to try Robobot then?
I have not tried Robobot. I do want to try it eventually though.
I have not.
I hear it's really good actually.
So I don't know if I think we all had our fair share of Kirby games though.
And Kirby's cool.
It's cool.
You know, Kirby's like oddly, even though he's like the not necessarily the most iconic Nintendo character, he's like consistently has like if I can think of a couple Mario games that off the top of my head that are like, I don't really like that one. I can say the same thing for Zelda as well. But with Kirby, it's like, well, I mean, the only one that I really don't like is
looking at you, Mario CDR games.
Like I'm trying to think. The only Kirby game that I really didn't like was that the clay one on Wii U. I didn't really enjoy that, but other than that, I've really enjoyed most of the Kirby games and even their spin-offs as well.
He's just a simple character in itself. I mean, he's a pink circle. That's it.
Right?
Are pretty.
What are you gonna say?
I didn't get to try that one either. The clay one.
I did. I do actually. I think I might still own it. I don't know. But I did at one point own the game, and I didn't finish it. I didn't get very far in it at all, actually. It just wasn't for me. I recognize that it's a decent enough game, but it just wasn't for me personally.
It's fair.
Okay, what's your least favorite Mario game, boys?
New Super Mario Brothers 2.
Oh,
I care
Easily.
about those ones.
oh.
Well, good topic.
Now, next one that
My
really
least
took me
favorite was
by
Mario Kart.
surprise.
Yeah, the next topic really took me by surprise too. But then again, it's kind of like Skyrim, where it's being released on everything, including your toaster. So Okami HD was confirmed for Switch.
I wasn't surprised by this. I mean,
Right.
The sad part is I already bought Okami HD for PS4. This one's a little bit of a late entry. But knowing how Okami was on the Wii, and the fact that the Wii was the best way to experience Okami, because of like the motion controls, this one will probably be the best way to experience this one. Because of the Joy-Cons.
Yeah, it's
Right.
you can either do the Joy-Con motion controls, or if you're doing it into portable mode, you can use the touchscreen.
And that's nice, because a lot of it you do have to draw. And I will admit that playing with the PlayStation 4 controller, I don't think if I recall, I don't remember if you can use the little touchscreen on the PS4 controller.
I wouldn't know.
I just remember it being like the motion controls. Motion controls or something like that is.
It's still very nice though to be able to have like that whole I can draw with the pointing again.
Yeah. I've never played Okami personally. I hear a lot of people tell me that I definitely should. So this will be the experience that I get, despite it being released like everywhere, especially the HD version. I still have not to play it. Just kind of like Skyrim.
I think that's a big one that turned me off from it though. Is if Nintendo charges full price for this one, there are definitely cheaper ways to experience this.
Yeah, that would be more or less Capcom's decision, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's Capcom. They made Monster Hunter and Resident Evil 5 good.
All right. Well, we
sorry you cut out there
for saying Resident Evil 5 was good.
Did I say 5? I meant 7.
You could say 5 still. I liked 5 a lot. I know a lot of people have their problems with it because
decent.
They had a lot of problem with it. Yeah, they had a lot of problems with people saying it being an action game more than a horror, which is sad.
5 was okay for its own thing, but then 6 kind of did everything wrong.
We don't talk about 6.
Well, deal with it.
We don't talk about
the point being, the pricing would be up to Capcom on this.
It would be, but I hope they don't decide to go, hey, let's go make this a full $60 game, even though Okami HD is $20 on PS4 new.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask, is how much is it on other systems? Is there any other system that's not $20?
I don't know if there's an Xbox One at all that has it. I don't know.
I think I've seen it on
or
Xbox
at least,
One.
I know there's at least PS4, and I know there's at least PS4 PC, I think, maybe.
There is PC.
I'm gonna look it up.
I will admit there's PC. I remember seeing it on Steam.
There's Xbox One.
I just feel like the best way to experience will be the Joy-Con then, or the Joy-Con way. Which
hopefully we'll see how good the Joy-Con's motion controls are, because there was one game. It's probably to the fault of the game itself, but there was one game that tried to use Joy-Con motion controls as a pointer, similar to the Wii. And that game didn't quite nail it with the accuracy. I can't remember the name of it.
Was it 1-2 Switch or? No,
it wasn't 1-2 Switch. It was like I really don't remember. It was a third-party game though.
That scares me because
that didn't really get it super good.
I know that the technology behind the Switch's Joy-Cons are different from the Wii's sensor pads.
Right, like I guess they could if well, there's no sensor bar. I was going to say they could just
there's sensors on the front
flip
of
the other
Joy-Con controllers, though.
Yeah, the left Joy-Con has, or sorry, the right Joy-Con has an infrared sensor at the bottom, so just like a Wii remote. But the problem there is that there's no sensor bar, so that's not particular what the IR sensor is for. More or less, what the IR sensor is for Labo.
Yeah.
Which, also, side note, Labo news, which I'm actually kind of okay with.
I
love Labo, but I like how they are specifically trying to say like, yeah, Labo's cool and all, but it's separate from our hardcore gaming market. Like we got enough stuff here without Labo's assistance to make you guys ready for this.
Yeah, because I think the demographic for Labo is very different than, say, even Kirby or Okami or anything that got shown today. So I say the demographic and the purposes of Labo are very different to where it is.
That is the very hard part about Labo is the demographic's a little bit weird.
Right.
Which it's fair. I definitely admit this is definitely a good thing for like children and like parents who want to work with their children to go and explore and be creative, or even people who just like have a minor engineering interest.
Mm-hmm.
And we can make Doom VR.
Yeah,
Doom VR.
I'm super looking forward to this to the Switch Labo VR helmet.
Oh God, help us all!
It'll be like the Google Cardboard.
No.
It will be a Google Cardboard on your head with like the Switch tablet in it, and then there's like this depending on the game you're playing.
All right.
No.
Well, does anyone else have anything else on Okami? Which, by the way, summer of 2018.
Summer.
No official date, but it will be out in summer.
I have to say this. Okami is a beautiful game. It's definitely B+, A- material. I recommend it if anyone can get a chance. And if this is your first time experiencing Okami, it's highly recommended, even if it's over $20.
But you know what's even more beautiful than Okami HD? That's gonna be Sushi Striker. Where the Hoshido? I almost said the Hoshido.
I've never heard of this game.
They announced it back at E3 last year, as part of the Treehouse thing, as initially only for 3DS, but now it's also on Switch. It's also still coming to 3DS if you were planning on picking it up there.
Or you already have your pre-orders established on this.
Yeah. So you don't have to worry about that.
I think it looks like an interesting puzzle game. That's it.
It just kind of looks like a mobile game that's on a console. Or handheld.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I need to confess. I need to make a confession here.
Tony loves it.
Uh-oh.
Sushi.
What? Sorry, say that again.
I do not like sushi.
I never had sushi, so
I'm not a super big fan either, actually. I've only had a few kinds of sushi. Nothing authentic, but I mean, as authentic as it gets is like Benihana or like Sapporo. So like Japanese hibachi grills.
Oh, I've just never had any time to experience it. Never.
Some of them are good, but I personally am not much of a fan either. But hey, if you are that wondrous sushi lover out there, well, you got a game all about murdering your sushi enemies with sushi plates.
Oh my God, fighting Kirby's beautiful.
Mm.
You just throw your friends. I almost said fuck your friends.
Well, I mean, you let Kirby do whatever you want him to.
Yeah, you do. Anyways, back to I don't know. It looks interesting. I love the fact that it's like, oh yeah, PvP action right now. Yeah, like I think that's a good idea. It's a very good idea to be able to include that. It definitely.
And it's got online play too, actually.
Yeah. So it'll definitely increase the lifespan of this game.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be picking this up myself. Definitely not on 3DS. If I was to pick it up, it would be on Switch, but I don't know if I will. Simply because I've got a lot of stuff that's coming out this summer, and so Sushi Striker: The Way of Sushido comes out on June 8th, 2018, on both Switch and Wii U. Switch and 3DS. It's coming out simultaneously.
Wii U's not dead.
I don't know.
More Wii U games.
Yeah, where are the Wii U games? Come on, guys, let's go.
All right, so next game was the Octopath Traveler. That
I am excited for it.
They revealed 2 new characters today. So that's the special edition and the free demo for it. So
by the way, the 2 new characters' names were Teresa and Alphen, I think, is how it's
I'm
pronounced.
excited for
You
both
cut
of them
out.
because they have wonderful dialogue options that open up.
Yeah, so I actually played I only played one of the routes on my stream, and I just kind of forgot and never got around to doing the other route on the Octopath demo that we got like a year or like 8 months ago.
I honestly forgot to try it once you recommended it.
It was
completely.
It was a really good demo, actually, and even after the game's like, okay, the demo's over, you can actually still play, and there's like still a little bit more to do after the demo's over. It's just like that's the end of like the story that you'll see. But it was a fun game, and I'm looking forward to it. I was kind of hoping that when they said Octopath Traveler name or like working title, that it was really truly going to be a working title. But it looks like they're going to be sticking with the Octopath Traveler name, which, I mean, it's not bad, but I'm not a super big fan of the name personally.
I think it'll be fine. Well, you make a better name for it. What would you call it?
I'd call it Final Fantasy 16.
Oh no.
Because that's basically what it is, just with more roots.
No. Well,
I mean, it's made by Square, so I mean, I don't know. I've never played any Final Fantasies. Well, I mean, we already had that. We had Chrono Cross.
Yeah, let's not talk about that one. Let's talk about actual.
This is actually Chrono Break, guys.
I think the main thing about this one that sticks out as an outsider for RPG genre, the genre in general, is like the art style. I think that's like the one thing that's always gotten my attention whenever this game. Just something about the art style really sticks out.
Yeah, I really do love the and I'm surprised more games don't really do this, where it's like 3D environments but sprites, or like retro kind of styled 8-bit kind of people, but a 3D modeled environment. It's kind of like Minecraft, but not blocky, and I actually kind of like it.
My thing about a lot of these 2D RPGs is that like a lot of these 2D RPGs that don't do it just kind of end up looking flat, I guess. Like to a point where I just look at it, I'm like, nah, that's boring. But then I look at this one, I'm like, okay, that actually looks aesthetically interesting.
And I mean, all of the little visual effects definitely help with that too. Like, I think, I don't know what this game uses. Like, it might have its own engine, or it might run on something. I'm not sure. But like the lighting engine's really good in it as well. Maybe they could tone back the bloom just a little bit. That's just personal preference, more or less. But I like the battle effects, and I love like when you go into battle, at least from the demo that I played, how like when you're powering up your attacks, like the arena starts getting like darker and glows the color of the power up that you're using or something like that. It's a very pretty game, despite it being graphically simple, I guess, for lack of better term.
And I come back to the whole 2D mixing with 3D. I'm liking that that's the sprite style and everything that's happening these days. That seems to be a common trend going on with most RPGs that are replicating.
Really? Because I haven't really seen much of that at all.
Shoot, I can't think.
Like, there's Paper Mario. It was like one bit that comes to mind, but like
there's a lot of Steam games. I mean, like I'm seeing like a lot of it on Steam.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, I have a nice enough PC where I could play Steam games, but I just don't have the time. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm pretty satisfied with the games I have. I'm 150 hours into Xenoblade 2, and I'm still playing it.
All right, guys, if we get 50 likes on the stream, I'll buy Darkest Dungeon Ancestral Edition.
I'm sorry.
All right. So anything else to say Octopath before we get into?
The special edition looks nice. Did they say a price on that?
They did not, but I saw.
I don't think they did. No.
It's probably going to be like expensive though, because it's Square.
It's got a coin. It's got a book. It's got what you need. And
the coin I could do without. I mean, I have a few collector's coins, but I couldn't really care about the coins myself. But
if you buy
I do like the pop out book. No,
I want the coins.
Too bad. I don't think I will buy it personally, but I do like the pop-out book, though. It like really plays well with the idea of how the world looks.
It does. It very much does.
Right.
Well, I think that's all. So, Mel, you want to lead us into the next topic?
Trolls.
I like No More Heroes actually a lot.
I've never played any of them.
You want an action game in your life that's similar
Right,
to Devil May Cry with blood and anime and rocking out and touching butts and stuff and assassinating people and becoming #1 killer?
Yes.
That's No More Heroes.
Yes.
Cool.
It's for the Wii. It's for the Wii. And then they had No More Heroes 2 for the Wii as well. And then I don't believe we saw anything from these guys for quite some time.
Until now.
I remember it was announced at the Game Awards, I think.
I believe it was announced before too.
I think so.
What immediately catches my eye on this, though, my biggest question for this is it a full game or is it more arcade-ish?
Yeah, that's what
it looks like.
That's what I heard.
It looks like some sort of like Xbox Marketplace arcade title.
Yeah, like I'm curious because like I personally listened to a few of just some people that I follow's reactions to the direct in general, and a lot of them came to the same like, wait, is this like a mini game collection or what is this? Because like it's like we got 7 games, and then whenever a game tries to advertise me that it's like multiple games, that's kind of like a red flag in my book, because it's kind of like the game developers didn't know what they wanted, so they just made everything.
But then it's also like I don't think it's necessarily that. I think it's just 7 different worlds. And
yeah, but they said that there's like a racing game, there's like a puzzle game, there's like a more like beat 'em up game, like.
I feel
there's like actually like genre separation in there.
That's what confused me. I don't know if this is that though. There's like no solid confirmation. I do enjoy the fact that it's co-op though, because your friend gets to play Batman, who's a prominent character from the other games.
Like a story in the original too.
There is an actual story in the original too.
Yeah, and then there's an adventure mode in this one that apparently continues the story or something like that.
Into a special Sir Surge stream event where he and I go through No More Heroes 1.
Or you can.
That's not it. We'll get to that.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think this game will be fun. I have a couple of friends who are really big fans of No More Heroes, so I know they're excited about this one too.
And I noticed that the release date is 2018, so I don't necessarily know when we're going to be seeing this.
We forgot to mention on Octopath that we do actually finally have a release date, which is July.
Which is a lot closer than I thought it would be.
Mm-hmm. Anyways.
We get to go.
Any more to say on Travis Strikes Again?
Personally, it looks graphically cool and all, but I don't know. I've never played any of the others, so maybe I should play the other ones first before I play this. So this might be something I pick up after release.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this might be something that I pick up after the release of this game, like maybe in the 2019 or later even.
But for those of you who like the hip and happening smooth style similar to Devil May Cry, you will enjoy the cel-shaded adventure based around lightsabers.
I do like lightsabers personally. I don't know about you, but I do like me some Darth Vader.
Oh no, this is just a guy. Yeah.
Or Gabe plays that. He has to play the one and only Dank Trolls.
Dank Trolls remastered May 25th. May 25th, 2018. We got to actually see some gameplay of it running on Switch. It doesn't look bad. Surprisingly,
I've played the original, and compared to the original, it does look enhanced and a lot better.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sure it's not going to be the best graphical option that you can have.
Oh, no,
but
I will
the point of getting Dark Souls remastered on your Switch is the portability and also possibly the amiibo. But
that is the biggest
we'll
thing.
get to that in a second.
Why isn't this amiibo the big one? Like, why is the Detective Pikachu one the actual one? Why
very good question. Why don't they make like a prominent boss from the Dark Souls an extra large amiibo? They have like a shoot.
Can I scan in my Link amiibo and fight Link in Dark Souls, please? Thank you.
Or okay, this is also what made me really mad about this. The fact that even if you do get the Solaire amiibo, you're just getting to praise the sun gesture.
Yeah, I was like, hey, new amiibo for Dark Souls. That's cool. What? It only makes you do this animation? Oh,
I mean, that's the thing. I'm gonna buy it because I like this game a lot. I love the Dark Souls series. Are you gonna get the Switch version, or? I unfortunately am not.
Okay. Are you gonna get the amiibo just for the lulz?
Just to have it. Well, yeah. I might eventually pick it up on Switch when it's discounted, but right now I currently have Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, and like every other Souls-esque game on PlayStation 4, and I kind of want to keep it on there.
Yeah.
My PlayStation's a Souls machine.
Right, man.
My PS4 is my main machine. I feel like the amiibo could give you more, maybe, but I wouldn't hold my breath.
Maybe they just haven't announced it yet, but I mean, May's kind of close, so they don't have too much more time to announce it if it does more. But
here's the big thing about this, though: Dark Souls.
I don't even know what it would do.
Dark Souls has a phantom system where you can summon other phantoms, which are usually either other players or NPCs you encounter through the adventure. What I'm wondering is, why can't you use Solaire as an infinitely spawning phantom when you buy this amiibo?
Maybe that would be overpowered and broken.
It might, but it would make sense at least, because every other amiibo function that usually is used in game usually provides a ghost when it comes a fighting game, every other Fire Emblem one.
Speaking of the fact that there's the online there, we are getting a network test, so kind of like an early access demo on Switch. I don't know if that's coming to the other platforms that this is available or not on. Anyone know?
I'm not aware either. I can probably look it up though.
Not.
But if you want to challenge us out, folks, tune in.
Yeah,
put you in the dirt.
I may or may not get Dark Souls. My thing is, I like games to challenge, but I also don't like games that are unfair. And I know some people are like, "Oh, well, it's just you being a wimp or something."
I am about to argue that with you in a minute here.
But I'll give it my shot. But
the big part about that statement is Dark Souls isn't unfair.
That's what I'm looking. That's what I'm looking to see.
That's the thing. A lot of the mistakes that you make, you don't. I've always had this thing too, where it's like, oh man, this is fucking bullshit sometimes. But at the end of the day, I will always acknowledge that it was my fault that this happened.
That's fair, and if I come to the same agreement, then I probably will pick up the full game. But the thing is, whenever I see people play Dark Souls, it's always all rage compilations and stuff, and how hard the game is, and that just maybe it really is hard, but
it can be challenging. But I can also tell you that this game can be also easy.
It just depends on your playstyle, more or less, I guess. But I'm looking forward to giving it a shot. Hopefully, the network test can let me get a decent enough idea.
If you get it on Switch, I will get it on Switch as well.
Well, here's the question I was going to ask with that though is obviously you'll be able to play with other Switches, but is there crossplay with the online on Dark Souls Remastered?
Wouldn't have.
I don't think they're going to, primarily because PS4 and Sony and all them like to have a problem with cross platforms.
Well, so here's the thing. You could say the same thing for Minecraft, and Minecraft's cross-play with everything except PS4, so what if they just do the same thing?
Just do that again, true.
It depends on what Bandai Namco wants to do, and what the Bandai Namco and From Software want to do with this. Because they could, but then they couldn't. Just like with Minecraft and Rocket League already. They could have.
Oh yeah, Rocket League.
Chose to. And it also depends on the other platforms for the PC or any other platform this game's on. Kind of depends. I wouldn't really have my hopes up for it personally, but I know.
I noticed that I don't know. I hope they release maybe another amiibo. I feel like
Would be nice, but also it is the third party's first attempt at an amiibo, so they're probably just going to make this
go with
amiibo
the safest
and judge
character that
how well
everyone knows. Yeah, and
right, judge how people like it, and then if it sells well enough, and if they do either Dark Souls 4 or another remastered version, maybe we'd see that on Switch and then get more amiibo that way.
unfortunately, it's highly unlikely they'll make Dark Souls 4, but it is likely they might be able to port like Dark Souls 2 and 3.
Yeah, again,
have
I've
to
never
try
played a Souls game, so I don't exactly know that, but that was just my idea.
Dark Souls 4, Dark Souls 3 kind of wrapped it up.
I see. Well, then maybe like a Bloodborne game. I know they're not necessarily the same thing, but they're similar enough, right? Yeah.
Their same engine and everything like that. If I love Bloodborne, I'm pretty much all about the Souls-esque games. I want to try Lords of the Fallen next because it's not. Go ahead.
What were you saying?
It's not what? I know. I was going to say something bullshit. Keep going.
It's not made by FromSoft, but it's very Souls-esque. Keep going. You go ahead and make your bullshit.
I was going to say any amiibo, whoever gets the amiibo has to try it on like every other game.
Yeah, I can't. I need to get this amiibo to work in Smash Bros.
I am gonna pre-order the amiibo.
I don't know if I'll pre-order the amiibo. I might, if I see it, I'll probably get it. I do actually have a lot of amiibo. The problem with my amiibo right now is when I moved to the apartment that I live in, my shelf collapsed in half. So I have half of my shelf, but the other half, where I kept all my amiibo, is now gone. So all of my amiibos are underneath. Like you can still see them, but they're not incredibly noticeable. They're underneath my entertainment stand. In the living room. So
I was there. I could testify that happened. As soon as we put that shelf down, it just collapsed because before it was like ripping in the back cover or whatever, and then as soon as we put it down, it just snaps.
Busted. But yeah, so right now, like amiibo purchasing isn't like something huge, but I do have I don't have all of them by any means, but I do have like over half the Smash roster. And a lot of the other, I have like all the Zelda amiibos except the Skyward Sword one. So, yeah, I have a lot of amiibo. But I also don't really have amiibo, with the single exception as a Christmas gift. I don't have amiibos from games that I don't own or don't really care about. So, the only exception to that being I have a Chibi Robo amiibo. Oddly enough, not the game. Someone just bought me the amiibo, but not the game, I
do recommend Chibi Robo if you ever do get the chance.
Yeah, it's weird because I thought the amiibo only came with the game, but I guess you can buy it separately, and they did. So, but yeah, I have got a lot of amiibo. Dark Souls amiibo. It looks good, actually. It looks like a cool amiibo, but I don't know if I will pick it up personally.
As a fan of the series, I'm going to. I primarily only have like Fire Emblem amiibos.
Just the ones you care about, really, right?
Just the ones.
Kinda. I wouldn't mind starting to gather up. So yeah, I guess you're right. More like just the ones I care about.
Well, I think that's all we have for Dark Souls, right?
So remember, children, on May 25th, make sure you grab your bottles of Sunny D and praise the sun.
Yeah, and make sure you have make sure you also have some alcohol to mix with that Sunny D, because you'll need it because of how much you're crying.
No. Unless you do a shot every time you die, you're done for.
All right. Well, Prime Man, you actually forgot to put this on the list, but before, in between games, for this next announcement, they also added on to the fact that this has been a thing that's been a while out for a couple weeks now, but now we can get discounts directly from My Nintendo, which previously My Nintendo was a hot garbage fire, but now it's a cold garbage fire, because you can get some discounts on your Switch games. They just kind of reiterated that you can do that, and I've seen a few people that were like, oh, I actually kind of forgot about that. That's cool now. So if you've got some My Nintendo points that are about to expire, well, no need to worry, because you can possibly get yourself a couple bucks off of a certain game or something.
Smash.
Let me go ahead and preface that part of this because I had this written down in my notes too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why Nintendo. Okay, because on their actual website themselves, they have it listed as it's a 5% of your purchase on digital that goes to your coins, but if you buy physical, it's only 1%.
I think what they mean is like if you get the physical version of the game.
No. I'm straight up telling you, if you spend $60 on the eShop, it gives you 300 coins. Versus if you spend $60 in physical, it only gives you 60 coins.
I think it's more or less just Nintendo trying to cut out the middleman there. So in that regard, it makes sense, but also at the same time, I think it is a pretty steep difference, personally.
It's a very... I just redeemed a lot of my games today.
What was that?
Good phone ringtone. Good phone. Here's the thing, like Nintendo, whatever the heck it's called, I forget. It's stupid. I really don't like it. Club Nintendo was so much better because, like, with this, all it's really good for is like discounts, and you can do some shit with Miitomo as well. But now Miitomo's closing, and there's really no physical rewards, so I don't really care about this. Like Club Nintendo, I loved getting like posters and shit. I mean, sure, it really doesn't mean all that much. It's just a decoration, but I love the physical rewards, or also the Nintendo developed like shirts and shit. Like legit straight from Nintendo themselves made these shirts and stuff. Like, I don't know. My Nintendo is it's not the worst thing, but I also really don't care about it at all.
It's just they're encouraging you to spend more money.
Mm-hmm.
That's understandable. And at least I get used for my points now. My points expire this month because I bought a couple things in digital.
Well, yeah, so that's pretty much it. They just kind of reiterated that, and then they went on to their next title, which was actually in the description for the Nintendo Direct, that there would be a pretty lengthy segment, and lengthy indeed, because they actually went pretty much balls to the wall with Mario Tennis Aces, and they showed us everything we didn't know about it. And surprisingly, at first, like when I first saw Mario Tennis Aces, I was like, yes, a new Mario Tennis game. And then I was reminded on a podcast that I listened to, I was reminded that Mario Tennis Ultra Smash existed, and then I was like, no, another Mario Tennis game.
Can we just hold on.
What?
No, keep going. I gotta.
Okay.
But like the fact that they showed it off here, and Mario Tennis Aces actually looks like a game that I'm going to enjoy. I will actually pick this game up. I'll give it a couple of streams, and I'll actually probably enjoy this game because it not only does it add all these new fun game modes, which looks a lot more enjoyable than Chance Shots and Giga Mushrooms, but even if you're a purist and you don't want to deal with the gimmicky stuff, I really love the fact that they actually have an option here, which I'm surprised none of these gimmicky Mario sports games hasn't done this, but they give you the
simple mode.
Just vanilla simple mode, yeah, which I really love that.
Real quick question.
Yeah, what's up?
Can you do GIFs on the stream?
Probably. Only one way to find out.
Can you do this GIF for me?
Oh God. I don't know if I can save
with
this.
The sexy Waluigi.
I don't know if I can. I can save video as. Okay, yeah. Here we go. Let's see if this works.
I'm ready to see this.
It's not working on the stream.
Oh
No.
He just screen shares
because it's yeah, I can do that, but like, oh God.
And Mario Tennis looks like Mario.
Oops,
Tennis.
I actually just closed out the Hang on. You guys talk about this while I'm putting this in.
It looks like Mario Tennis.
I thought it was interesting. Yeah, sorry, keep going.
That's all I had for this part. For this part, like just right now. Looks
But
like
it's
Mario
like-
Tennis.
Okay, I love the fact that they had the zoning going on with it, and the fact that you can break the other person's tennis racket.
Yeah, I love the ability to actually break the rackets as well. And it's not just like an overpowered like death move either. Like you can defend upon it if you can like get good.
It seems like
So it's like
there's a lot
it's
more,
more
of a
strategy added to
aspect
it.
to this one.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like all these abilities. It doesn't look brain dead or gimmicky either. It seems like actual. Basic.
This game is very fluid. Very,
Right?
very fluid. Ah!
Game. Yoshi's there, so it's a good game.
Look at that.
Yeah, we
Look at
get
that.
Yoshi with the wings and shit, so that's good. We get
Okay.
flying Yoshi.
Automatically game of the year.
On that stream currently, right now, look at that sexy mofo. Like, yeah, I didn't think this is Waluigi's turf. Waluigi showed up originally in a tennis game. This is Waluigi's land.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
Waluigi's never been in like an actual main title. He just shows up to play tennis with these guys every now and then.
Golf.
There we go. Close enough on this GIF.
That's a good GIF.
I'll put it in the background. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, yeah, it looks good. I'm looking forward to it, honestly, a lot. Like, I liked Mario Tennis Open, but I never really played any of the other tennis Mario sports games. I'm pretty big fan of the Mario Golf Toadstool Tour on GameCube, and then I also really liked the Mario Baseball game on Wii, which I
love that
played
game.
back last
Even
year.
though it's a piece of
and
shit
it was-
that shoots me out of my moves.
Right. But like even though like we get like all this other stuff, like it's alright, I guess. I'm looking forward to it. I just sorry, I'm lost because I'm managing things right now. I'm actually really looking forward to it. I don't know if I'll necessarily say, oh, this is a must-play Switch game, or at least like if it's a game that I would recommend to someone like I would like Mario Kart. But I'm definitely looking forward to giving it a shot. Also, I really want to appreciate the fact that yes, in Mario Kart, I know we had Link, so we had that good crossover material, but I'm super excited that we get the crossover from Zelda extended into the Mario Tennis
I'm
universe,
so proud
where
of that.
now
too.
we can now play as Bow Wow from Link's Awakening. No,
Say that again.
no one got that. I said now we can play as Bow Wow from Link's Awakening.
I'm
scared, yeah.
so happy though.
The Chain Chomp looks.
I saw. I didn't
it
even,
looks
I didn't even
ridiculous.
know right away until I looked at the tournament roster and I saw a lot of the characters. I was like, oh.
It looks kind of weird. It's like it carries it in its mouth. But it's like the Mario Tennis games always has that one character that's like wow, that's random, but okay. Like the as shitty as Mario Tennis Open might have, or sorry, Ultra Smash might have been. Having the Sprixie from Super Mario 3D World was really like, whoa, that's really weird. Okay, but that's pretty much all the game had going for it.
Yeah.
So,
And then
but
I'm expecting a Mario Tennis competitive scene. Get that shit in the Olympic Games when they put video games in there. Tournament mode,
Right.
all over. And they're doing the pre-launch tournament test or whatever.
yeah, so even if you're not sold on the game just yet, you'll be able to actually play the game. I believe probably free. They didn't really say whether or not, but I mean, you would assume a demo would be free. But yeah, you'll be able to give it a shot before the game comes out, and who knows, maybe maybe that'll turn a lot of heads. Now, the only thing there is it's a tournament, so if you don't get the game right off the bat, I don't. They didn't really go into too much detail how it'll work, but if you don't get it off the bat, you might, off the racket, I guess. You might, get kicked out or something. We don't know yet, but considering it's a tournament, it wouldn't necessarily surprise me if they were like, all right, well, you lost, so you can't play. But that would kind of suck if that's the case. I'm hoping they don't do that, but it is technically a tournament. I don't know if they said that there was going to be a reward or something if you win, but...
I hope they let you spectate at least, but it's like...
yeah.
But at the same time, I could also see it where if they try to control traffic, depending on the number of players, just kind of depends.
Yeah, so in the demo, you'll only be able to do 1v1, but in the final game, there is 2-on-2 4-player gameplay.
Yep.
And then you have your basic shots in the gameplay, of course, but then they also added some all new mechanics into the game, like we previously touched on the breaking rackets, which can happen from like zone shots where you can specifically direct where you want the ball to aim. Which at first seems overpowered, but then they have some counters to it where like it uses up a lot of your special gauge if you want to do this, but then you also have ways to counter it with zone speed, which allows you to move in slow motion and get to the ball on time. And then you also have like trick shots that you can use to like super boost your meter, so that way you can do a special shot, which is like basically your final smash of tennis.
Which it looks at me. I like a lot of the. Obviously, my favorite special that we've seen is the Waluigi one, where he pulls out a rose and he's like, "I'm gonna steal your woman."
They also said with the online play, which by the way, online play confirmed. That's cool.
That is very cool.
That
Up to 4 people.
I believe this is also probably an extension of the story mode as well. But you'll be able to unlock more characters than what we know about. So we know about Mario, Luigi, Wario, Waluigi, Peach, Rosalina, Bowser, Daisy, Donkey Kong, Yoshi, Toad, Toadette, Boo, Bowser Jr., and Chain Chomp. But we also got a very obvious silhouette of what appears to be either a Koopa Troopa or a Dry Bones.
I noticed that
the only
too.
reason I mentioned the only reason I mentioned Dry Bones is because specifically in the story mode section of the Direct, they specifically showed us like a Dry Bones NPC talking to Mario. But you'll also be able to get new characters from playing online, probably also an extension of the story mode, but you'll also be able to get new costumes, which is really cool. So when I first saw like Mario not in his overalls, in the visor and tennis suit, I was like, okay, that's cool. But now it's like, wow, wait a minute. There's more to it? It's not just like, this is just what he looks like in the game. Like, no, you can like customize him, I guess. They haven't really gone into detail on how that'll work. Maybe it's just palette swaps.
What are they gonna include me support for this one?
Yeah, I need to play as my Melvin me and
Furmies. They need to have Furmies in this game.
Yeah, where's the Furmies? Borrow from Dylan. Dylan will hook you up, Nintendo.
Put Dylan in. Just put him in.
Yeah, just put him in as Furmies as his allies. It'll be great. But the game comes out on June 22nd, which is not too far off, so that'll be a good summer title to keep you hold over. But what do you? I've been going on. What do you guys think about all this?
It's Mario
shit?
Tennis, so it's like, I mean, for me personally, the Mario sports games outside of Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, outside of that and Strikers, I'm just like, Mario sports.
So just as much friends are going to be made from saying this as the amount of friends are going to be said from our earlier comment, but I've never played Mario Strikers. Oh. I know about Mario Strikers. I've seen it. I've seen the glorified Waluigi crotch chop many times, but I have not actually played the Strikers series, so I'm hoping we get a port or maybe a sequel sometime on Switch.
It?
No.
Well, that's
I do not.
I have it.
I was gonna, if I owned the game, I would have played it. Trust me.
Like, I'm gonna bring it over.
Okay, well, we'll do something with that, like a stream or something. But I don't know, Melvin. What did you think of, in general, the Aces segment of the direct? It was like a 5-minute segment all about Mario Tennis
very
Aces.
much. I think it's very good that they did this. It gave up a lot of information about this game. It's coming out soon. The gameplay was quite fluid. I loved the little tennis outfits for all the characters. Let's just go ahead and look at that GIF over and over again and dream about that man that has rose in his mouth. This is
Right.
not Mario Tennis Ace. This is Waluigi's Adventure.
The third.
The third one. Like, every tennis game is Waluigi's Day. Like, let's be honest here.
I think the thing about the whole fact that they devoted a good 5 minutes or so to this was kind of what they needed, because I've only did a little bit of internet research before Direct, where people were saying that, oh, Ultra Smash is garbage and shit. And so I'm guessing like officially it got like mixed reviews. So it was something like Nintendo kind of needed to do this, I guess.
Right. We needed to know that this new Mario Tennis game wasn't going to just be Ultra Smash. And one of the biggest red flags that was immediately apparent, well, it's not even that big of a red flag in retrospect, but when we first saw the game, we only saw 2 courts, and that was a big thing with Ultra Smash, was there was only 1 court that you could change the ground surface of, and that was it. But now we've seen a whole bunch of different courts. And also, kind of funny fact about the original court that we saw is it's actually the exact same model and court from Ultra Smash, like the neon arena that we have. Obviously, it didn't look that good in Ultra Smash, but it's kind of funny that we have that same arena again. But we actually have some variety of courts. We saw this really vibrant forest kind of ruins court, and then we also saw this like desert course. So it looked like this game actually has development on it, and it's not just a budget title designed to fill in a gap in the release cycle, because that's what Ultra Smash was. Let's be honest. Any other thoughts?
Can we just go about Waluigi a little bit more and what his amiibo might do for him?
Yeah, does this game have amiibo support? Do we know that yet?
It was said. I don't think they said anything about amiibo support.
Okay.
I have to wait a little longer.
Hopefully not too much longer, though, because it is coming out relatively soon. So, but I'm looking forward to it.
So the next game is the one nobody asked for.
But we got it anyways!
I've seen a few people who are like, okay, cool, Captain Toad. Here's the thing. At first, I was like, oh yeah, Captain Toad! We're gonna get a new Captain Toad game! And then it's just a port of the Wii U one. I was like, oh, I don't know why I thought...
I didn't know it was just a port. Okay, never mind, I'm not interested.
Well, it's an expanded port. That's the thing. The co-op feature that's there, and it has levels from Super Mario Odyssey. So there are new things there, and who knows how extensive it will be.
It's also going to be on the 3DS. This was the other 3DS title that got left over from the main section. Yeah, so like, I don't know why it's on 3DS, but hey, if you don't have a Switch yet and you're stupid and you don't have a Switch yet, you can get it on 3DS. I'm sorry if you don't have a Switch, but
you're really making a mistake by not having one.
I mean,
just saying.
I'm gonna say it's not a mistake to not have a Switch.
No, I was just kidding.
But it's
I think it will eventually.
The Switch is definitely like on top right now.
Right now, eventually it's going to be a mistake because Smash and other games that eventually show up.
Right.
When Smash Brothers comes out, that's a good time to buy it. Maybe they might even do a Switch bundle with it.
I think that's probably most definitely, honestly, because Smash is going to be a huge system seller.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Smash Wii U is the only thing that got the Wii U to actually somewhat profit itself. Like, for a while when the Wii U first came out, the Wii U actually wasn't making profit until I think it was before Smash 4, if we're gonna be honest here. But Smash 4 really did sell a number of Wii U's, even if it wasn't all that much, to be honest.
That's true. So
There's a reason why the Wii U is notoriously called the Smash Machine.
Right. Captain Toad looks all right.
Wii U and she's like, want to Smash?
Right. But Captain Toad was all right. It comes out July 13th, so another summer title, I suppose. Surprisingly, actually, a lot of these are like late spring, early summer, or even late summer. We have a few 2019 in this as well, so, or at least one, maybe only one. I don't remember. But yeah, Captain Toad. What more is there to be said other than if you never played it? If you didn't own a Wii U and you never played it, I will actually say that this is a really good game. Like, legitimately, it's a really good and fun game. It challenges. It's not like hard, but it'll make you think. It's a puzzle. It's a puzzle game.
I honestly think I got my fellow Captain Toad off of Super Mario 3D World Land.
Yeah, like if you played Super Mario 3D World, you probably. I mean, if you didn't really like the Captain Toad levels, then I mean you're not gonna like this game, obviously. But it's just more of that. It's charming. It's cute. I like how Captain Toad and Toadette interact sometimes, but in general, it's just it's there. You can hear Toad screaming, he's like, "Wow!" when he doesn't get a turnip or whatever. But yeah, so after that there wasn't anything after that. So then there was Crash Bandicoot. Definitely not skipping over anything.
Sir, please.
What?
Wait, hold up.
Hang on, what? What's the problem?
You are skipping a game, I think.
I don't know what you're talking about. Melvin, would you care to enlighten us?
No. We're good. We have Undertale coming up.
Yeah, Undertale.
No. That's
Undertale.
That's. I mean,
Undertale
okay.
fan base is here to poison your Switch.
Okay, let me say something. Undertale is a good game. I'll say that. I've never played Undertale.
We're gonna skip the next game, though, definitely.
Because the fan base definitely turned me off from the game. I wanted nothing to do with it.
Poison your precious Switch.
Right. But
Undertale is quality. It's a nice little 7 hour, not even 7 hour. I put about 8 hours into it, playing it over and over. It's worth it. It's a good time. I'm glad it's coming to Switch because we can have portable Undertale. But other than that, I don't see any other additions. Maybe extra dialogue options that can be added in there. Maybe more encounters. Other than that, I don't feel like getting rated by Undertale people. The fandom is notoriously atrocious. I don't care how many AUs you have. Leave their genders alone. Anyways.
Well.
Undertale.
Yeah, Undertale is coming to Switch, which, I mean, in and of itself is pretty big news, because Toby Fox, the creator, wanted it to come out on Wii U, but Nintendo actually denied him, oddly enough. But hey, it looks like he managed to sort everything out. It's coming out on Switch, and so if you like Undertale, you're looking for another reason to play it again, or maybe you just can't stop playing it, and so now you got to take it with you to work or something. Oh, here you go. Take Undertale with you.
I don't know. I feel like Undertale got ported to PS4, and their special edition was like a lockbox, and you had like an actual. What are those things? You wind them up, and they play music box.
Okay.
I feel like it's hard to top that. I don't really think we needed another port, but it's okay to have it.
Yeah. I mean, we might not need it, but it's a good sign because it means that third-party developers are very much interested in Switch. Even the smaller indie developers who don't necessarily need the more sales. Like Undertale sold far well enough on its own, because of that fan base. Like it or dislike it, these are just the facts. But Undertale sold well enough, so it didn't need to come to Switch, but it did come to Switch because the creator really did want it to be on Switch, or he wanted it to be on Wii U, but he eventually made it come to Switch. So we don't have a release date. It literally says coming eventually on the trailer, so we have that. But it's nice. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not gonna make fun of Undertale fans or any of that, but I'll say, okay, if you want this, have fun playing it, but I don't know. I mean, I like what it does differently from other games, but personally, I'm not really interested.
I don't know. I have it on Steam. I played all of it. I'm good.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on to let's get to the next game here. Hold on, let me get
Crash.
No, that's not the next game. That's not the game. That's not the next game.
If we have to talk about Undertale, we have to talk about Crash.
No, we don't need to talk about Crash, please.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I love Crash.
Okay.
Leave.
Okay, so this is like when I saw this, I was like, wait a minute, what? Like I heard a rumor a while back. I think Tonio shared this rumor to me. That like, wow, they're gonna make it for PC and they're gonna make it for Switch. They said. I was like, oh, I mean, the PC makes sense, but really on Switch, because I was like, doesn't like PlayStation own it? And I mean, I've never played a Crash Bandicoot game. Oops, with the exception of I did one time stream. For like 2 or so hours of the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy on PS4. I played it on stream. I actually kind of liked it, but Antonio wasn't about to leave his PS4 with me as he went off to college.
No,
so
I understand.
I didn't get to finish it.
Crash is a good game. I just like teasing Tonio.
I know.
Well,
so
I mean, we all like teasing him.
Anyway, so the whole deal about Crash was that like it's owned by Activision. That's why he was in that Skylanders game from like 2013 or whatever, the last one. And so Activision still owns Crash,
right?
But then they made the deal to I guess what this means, since it's now multi-platform, so it's also going to be on PC and Xbox.
Right?
Is that this? I guess it was a timed exclusive for PS4.
I thought I even remember hearing that, like when the game first came out, but
yeah,
I guess I forgot about it.
There was a whole big confusion because like a bunch of like Twitter accounts and news outlets some would say, "Oh, it's a full-on exclusive," and then others would say, "Oh, it's a timed exclusive." So no one really knew.
I heard more rumors based around it being a timed exclusive, and I believed it to be a timed exclusive.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really care too much, but at the same time, I was kind of like, oh, it'll be interesting if it's on other platforms, and I don't see why not, especially since there's this from a licensing, like no, not licensing, a toy company that has the license to make merchandise, saying that Activision has these big plans for Crash, and part of it was making Crash Insane Trilogy multi-platform. Now,
yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it because I'm again. Before the stream I did of the game a year ago, I never played a Crash game before that. To be honest, I never really even heard of it. I mean, I heard of it, but I never really knew entirely what it was until the Insane Trilogy came out. Yeah. I've recently been trying to expand out more, but I don't have any other consoles right now. So
he's going to expand out more.
Well, well, here's the thing. I'm not exactly like overflowing with enough money to buy a whole separate console. So having this on Switch is really nice.
And
but
it also helps having friends own those same games.
Now you're gonna play it. Now you're gonna play it. And I'm gonna laugh at you as you try to.
Yeah, I'm probably actually gonna stream the entirety of the game at one point or another, or the games plural. I don't know if I'll probably necessarily do that back to back, but that'll happen eventually.
You don't have to play them back to back. Like you don't have to play them in order if you don't want to, because what I did was I would go back and forth between all three. Mostly complete. The only one I haven't completed yet was 2, but but 1 and 3 I did complete. So I'll be laughing at you as you figure out shit and crash and die and potentially throw your Joy-Con at the wall.
Yeah, I can't wait to spend another I can't wait to spend another 15 minutes standing around on the first boss trying to figure out how to do damage to him. Never heard of jumping in a platformer before.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, we got Crash, which comes out July 10th, which is surprisingly soon. Again, a lot of these games are like surprisingly soon. It's summer. We've got some late year stuff, but mostly summer.
Game.
But yeah, that's
so
really
the next
it.
one, there's Complete Edition.
Oh!
Yeah, Little Nightmares Complete Edition. I haven't actually heard of this game before this direct.
It's a very It's an indie game that came out. It's recently. It's more definitely atmosphere than anything else. I recommend it completely. It's very good. It's side-scrolling 2D at its best. There's a couple of challenges based around speedrunning it. The fact that this is the complete edition and it's coming to a portable system, I enjoy that.
You also get a special Pac-Man skin if you use the Pac-Man amiibo.
That is true. That is
Yeah, I saw Bandai Namco's name when they scrolled over to this game. So, what's the story behind that? Did they just like assist with the development of it, or what?
They were publishers.
Okay.
They also publish Dark Souls.
I know you can currently now, if you don't feel like waiting for the Switch version, the complete version of this game is available for other consoles. It's primarily
which by the way, it comes out in May 18th, so it's not too long.
It's not too long. It's primarily a puzzle horror game. It's well worth anyone's time. I recommend it. Its atmosphere is beautiful. It has a Spirited Away feel if you're a fan of the Studio Ghibli film.
Oh, I know that.
That's all I can really say about that.
I like indie games that tell a good story, but a very important thing to me is obviously gameplay more than story.
If you guys are familiar at all with Inside or Lost,
I can't say I am.
Let me say this also, Gabe. Its gameplay is absolutely fluid. Actually, it's a good platformer.
That's good to hear.
It's a very good platformer.
That's good to hear.
Yes,
because I mean, a lot of the stuff that they were talking about was like this spooky. That's not what the wording they use, but they're like this spooky world and solving these mysterious puzzles. I thought
for a Dark Souls,
just out of impressions purely, I was like, oh, is this just an aesthetic game? But hearing you say that is reassuring. I don't know if I'll pick it up because I've got a lot of other games to play, especially in that time frame.
Crash.
But I am looking forward to it, or for those that like it anyways.
All right, so the next
game was South Park: The Fractured Butthole.
I actually kind of lost it when the guy on the direct said that, because like the way he said it made it sound. I know that Nintendo was trying to make it sound like separate words as it is in the title, but the guy did not do a very good job on the direct. He definitely said South Park: The Fractured Butthole is coming out.
I mean, that's like the pun of the title. Like that's like the point of it. So,
yeah, like actually the name of the game was supposed to be The Fractured Butthole.
I think the point
buttholes, but I think the ESRB literally wouldn't allow them to do it. Like they said, we will not let your game exist in the world with that title.
The fact that the game is on a Nintendo platform now is hilarious. But I'm also wondering if the previous game, The Stick of Truth, is going to because I don't know if The Stick of Truth is already on Switch or not, or if it will be.
It's not.
Then I wonder if it will, because they kind of should, honestly.
Maybe I don't know. I don't think the South Park developers. I don't think the South Park game developers really are like I don't really know anything about them, but I don't think they're like a super massive studio that would really do like this game is fairly recent, so it makes sense. But that game was like what, 2016, so it's old enough to the point where like I don't know if they would necessarily remake it or anything for the Switch. It'd be nice to see.
I mean, just port it over. I mean, not remake it, but just port it.
Even still, like I don't know, maybe, but I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I mean, I'm not going to play it either way. I mean, I used to like South Park, but I don't really watch TV at all these days. But when I do watch TV, generally not that kind of content anymore. But you got it on the Switch if you want a portable version of this game, I guess. It's as much as I can't say I would necessarily recommend it to anyone I know personally. It's good to see it there because it's like, well, this is a more Switch demographic being filled in that definitely wasn't there for the Wii U. Like, this is a game that I have no interest in, but other people are like, yeah, this is pretty cool. Like, I'm always, even though I might not be a fan of every game that's on these directs, like, I'm overall like super happy to hear about these games coming out because it's like people do like these games. I might not be one of them, but it's like it's appealing to the demographic that like the Wii U couldn't answer.
Yeah, because that's also the way I look at a lot of these games that are being announced. Because some of them, like, okay, yeah, Crash is on there. I like Crash, and so on the other ones. But then other games, it's like there's a lot of these big games that were missing from the Wii U. And now they're going to be on the Switch. Like the Dark Souls is going to be on the Switch. Crash is going to be on the Switch. What else was there?
Like Doom and Skyrim.
Doom, yeah, right.
This is what bothers me is though I hate the fact that the Switch is kind of being known as late to the game a bit when it comes to a lot of these major titles.
See, you could see it that way, but a lot of the people that I know aren't really complaining. I mean, there are definitely people who are like, more ports, just give me new games, God. They have no idea how game development works, obviously.
I'm glad that they released these games, but part of me, it just makes me a little bit disappointed that I already own these games on another console.
Well, yeah. The other thing is, I hear that.
I do remember it's not for me, though, if that's the case.
And, like, a lot of these games, like, even the people who do own them are, like, considering second purchasing because, I mean, really, in its entirety, the Switch's portable feature is real. It really just sells itself regardless of the games. Like, it's a really good feature to have console caliber games anywhere you want to go.
There's all these talks about how like the Switch functions, especially whether it be motion controls or touch or whatever, actually make these games better. Like Okami's control, like motion controls. I hear that Doom is a lot better on the Switch than the other platforms, arguably.
Yeah, like Doom recently had an update that added the gyroscopic controls that are featured from Splatoon, and like once this update hit, like Doom like got a lot of love on Switch because those gyro controls really did make a difference. And like, you play shooters on a console, gross. The superior way to play a shooter is keyboard and mouse, which is for the most part from what I've played, I can definitely agree with. But having gyroscopic controls in my controller really does kind of close that gap a little bit for me.
As a person who plays shooters primarily on PC, I will say the gyro controls are fluid and nice to have. I'm still going to always say that PC is the
That's fair.
game, yeah.
That's fair. I was thinking more.
I put enough hours in all of them, though, is the thing, to be able to know which ones have the better like shooter things. And the Wii has always done shooters like the best out of the consoles. So seeing it on the Joy-Cons, I'm sure it'd be similar. I don't know. I think my major problem with the Doom and everything like that, though, was the fact that its graphics were extremely muddied and the frames are 30.
Well, actually,
Did they patch that, actually?
They didn't, like, up the frame rate, but they stabilized it more, because there was a few areas, apparently, where it was a little bit choppy on frame rates, but it's good now, and also the graphics in general are a little bit more clean. There's a lot of general updates that was added to Doom. I don't know them off the top of my head. I'm sure you can find it if you want to look it up. But
I don't know. I still think the bigger part of it for me is though Doom is $60.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a weird. I mean, I understand. Like, obviously, you don't want to keep buying the same game full price. But there's also some people who haven't gotten the game, and Doom isn't incredibly old at this point, so I don't think it should necessarily be too cheaper.
I can get the game for at least $10 to $20 on every other system.
Like $10 to $20 cheaper, or like that's how much it costs?
$10 to $20.
Okay, yeah, then that's kind of shitty. I don't understand why that has to happen.
That's my main problem with all these games getting pointed over.
There's like a weird like Switch tax where like if it comes to Switch, like Nintendo's like, no, this is a major third party title. You need to be pricing this at $60. I feel like that is like honestly more on Nintendo's side because that's something Nintendo always does. It's like their console games are always $60 and their 3DS games are always $40. Whether you like it or not, that's just how it is. Sometimes they'll make a little game like Captain Toad Treasure Tracker and that's $50. But then there's games like Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, which is a port with barely any additions to it, and that's also $60, which I don't agree with. But then at the same time, there is ports like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which adds a lot of new features that I really like, and that I think warrants maybe not $60, but it definitely warrants the AAA title in like numbers behind it. Yeah, well, no, but like $50 wouldn't be too bad for Mario Kart. But I understand why it's 60. Some games are more acceptable than others. I guess it's more or less just how well does the port itself make itself new, like to really earn that full game price. And some games really are just ports to the Switch, which are the more unfortunate examples. But then you got games like Doom, who, again, even though it's cheaper on other consoles, it adds some new quality of life. Well, not necessarily quality of life, but like gyro controls is something completely new for it. So I don't know. I personally am not a fan of. Well, I can't say I'm not a fan because I've never played any of the Doom games, and definitely not Doom the new one. But I've heard a lot of people say that the new Doom port is really good. So that's good to hear for me.
Speaking of ports, the next game is a port.
Yay!
It's
yay!
All right. I'm probably the only person. I'm probably the only person on the planet who actually really wanted.
That's the sad part. I'm gonna buy it again.
I really did want before it was announced Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, and when they announced it, I was able to accept I'm the only one who really wants this. But I am so happy that they're doing this because let me be honest, I have played and streamed Hyrule Warriors Legends on this is way back. I don't really have many archives of my old Warrior Wednesday streams, but I used to legitimately every Wednesday stream from my 3DS Hyrule Warriors Legends, and I mean Legends was a really good expansion to Hyrule Warriors because I really loved Hyrule Warriors initially, and then Hyrule Warriors Legends really pushed it over to the edge for me. And this is one of my favorite games from this year. I ended up saying, it might have even been my game of the year that year. Then again, it was relatively quiet from what I played, but still, I genuinely enjoyed Hyrule Warriors Legends. With the exception of the fact that it's on the 3DS, looks like ass, and has shitty frame rates, especially if you're not playing on a 3DS. What?
This is where this port comes in now.
Yeah, we get it on Switch, which is
beautiful. Believe
it or not, is not just like the Wii U version. It's actually even more graphically superior to that, with redone lighting and some textures as well. Not super drastically lighting, but if you compare them side by side, Hyrule Warriors Switch definitely looks a lot more vibrant than Hyrule Warriors on Wii U. Hyrule Warriors on Wii U was it wasn't dark, but all the textures were
muddied a bit.
Not muddied, but they were just lower hue, I guess.
I mean, I've played all the Hyrule Hyrule Warrior games, on all their ports.
Hyrule Warriors looked fine on Wii U.
I thought we talked about this before because I'm also kind of excited for this port. I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, I understand that people are like, God damn it, you've already ported this to 3DS and now you're porting it again.
That's the thing, though. It's if it makes money, make that money, baby. Make that money.
But I'm really hoping. I'm pretty sure we've said this before, but I'm gonna say it again anyways. I'm really hoping that with Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, that we can get the quality versus frame rate option that was in Fire Emblem Warriors. If there's one thing to take away that Fire Emblem Warriors did really well, arguably maybe the only thing that Fire Emblem Warriors did really well, was that feature in and of itself was a really good option. And most people I know ended up going with the 60 FPS version, but if you really don't care about frame rates and you're all about them graphics, then, well, there you go. You got it. Right there.
I hope they do the whole Hyrule, or not Hyrule, Fire Emblem stuff where they're like, hey, my G's, do you want this to be pretty or you want this to run good?
Right. And Hyrule Warriors definitely on Wii U, like, it would chug in 2-player mode, like, really badly. So,
which I played that game with my sister, so chug.
But I'm looking forward to it. Not really many others are. The only thing that was, it's amazing how long we've got on with this segment, yet some of the other segments hasn't lasted this long. Despite how little information we got from this. Literally the only thing they said here was the release date, which we now know is May 18th, 2018, which is weird because the game comes out in 2 weeks in Japan. There's not really all that much dialogue. It's already translated in both the other versions, so I don't understand why there's like a 2-month gap there. But
they might actually have new content.
Maybe. I mean, the only new we already know like the entirety of like what the game has. The only new content, unless they just straight up haven't announced it 2 weeks before it's revealed or before it's release in Japan, the only new content is that we have some Breath of the Wild costumes. That's it. The rest is just Hyrule Warriors 3DS and Wii U combined. You get all the DLC. It's in glorious HD. Love it, play it, and play it again. But yeah, May 18th. I wish it was earlier because I really do want to play this again, even though it's the same game and I understand that fully, but I'll make do. I guess if anything, maybe in the States they kind of learned Nintendo might have looked at Fire Emblem Warriors, which released 7 days before Mario Odyssey, and they were like,
let's not do that again.
Let's not put it really close to another major release. And Kirby is coming out next week, which is definitely not as big as Mario Odyssey, but it could definitely steal some of the thunder that Hyrule Warriors might have been able to bring.
Yeah,
so,
that's the thing. If I was gonna go between Kirby or Hyrule Warriors, I might just choose
it would
Hyrule
be Kirby.
Warriors, though.
Kirby.
I would definitely choose Kirby over Hyrule Warriors personally, but you get more money out of Hyrule Warriors, so I don't know.
To be fair,
but
I don't know. Kirby might be a really good choice to have like my friends over and be like, hey, let's play this.
Right.
Sure. All right, Gabe.
Anyways,
what is the next game?
The next game is Absu, and
we get that's it.
Yeah, that's it. We get a little bit more ARMS stuff. They were like, we're gonna expand, and I was like, say expand expand the roster. What are we expanding? And then they're just like, it was a pun. But
I wanted to know.
Yeah, there's an ARMS pun, or there's an ARMS tournament on March 8th, which is actually today, to the 18th. So, you can join in on that. You can move your body freely, and then you can get good at ARMS. And if you're good enough, you can possibly participate in the online finals. Of course, you're not going to be hearing this from me. If you know about this, you know about this. I don't really need to reiterate. But
yeah, my only thing
if you did manage to make it to the finals, you get some art drawn specifically from the developers for you, which is kind of cool. But only 8 people in the world are going to be getting that. So
my only thing about ARMS in this tournament is why isn't Japan part of it? Because if they specifically said U.S. and Canada are open, when Japan has a bigger ARMS scene.
I think what it is actually it's separated by region. So I think we have our own, and then Europe might have their own, and then Japan has their own. I don't know if that's the case. I do know that there was some new announcements, specifically only Japan that like my uncle was telling me about, I don't have those off the top of my head, and quite honestly, they're not important enough. But I'm sure that Japan has their own tournaments happening for it as well.
Yeah, because they had. Yeah.
Go ahead.
They did their own Evo Japan, which was basically just Evo, but in Japan.
Right.
And ARMS is there. ARMS is one of the big titles with like Street Fighter and whatever else. So I was like, why isn't Japan part of this? I think more people play ARMS in Japan than they do, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's probably pretty equal. Splatoon's definitely a lot bigger in Japan than it is here in the States, and Splatoon is actually still pretty big here. But ARMS never really grew on me. It's not a bad game by any means. I actually really like it. It's just I'm not a super big fan of fighting games, let me be honest. But if you have a Switch and you haven't yet tried ARMS, you get another chance because Nintendo really likes these test punches for some reason. They do these all the time with ARMS, but like they only have like one test fire for Splatoon. So where's my Splatoon demos? Not that it really needs it, but there's another ARMS test punch coming up. If you haven't gotten a chance to play it and you have a Switch, March 31st. It's a 3-day long one, so you get plenty of time with it this time. And yeah, I get to play some ARMS, and I assume they'll probably have like the whole roster available to you, so that'll be nice. But what's your guys' opinions on this?
It's ARMS.
Yeah, honestly, I can't really say anymore.
It's
just ARMS.
I just don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Well, ARMS is cool and all. ARMS is cool. I just no.
So you do care about though.
I mean, here's the thing.
What?
It's not really for us, but like I'm sure like the people who do still play ARMS and like really, really play this game like competitively even, they're probably all over this shit. I don't know. I haven't really seen the reactions from those specific people, but I know they exist, and I'm sure they're loving this. But none of us really played ARMS too far after launch. Like I legitimately haven't touched it since maybe the last DLC character came out. I might have played with him for a little bit, but that was it. Like once I was kind of disappointed that ARMS dropped DLC characters so soon, because with Splatoon, like they held that up for a while, and we'll get into that in a moment. But especially with the first game, like it lasted a year of whole new content, and Splatoon 2 is, as you'll see here again in just a moment, Splatoon 2 is going strong with still much more new content, and they're not ending anytime soon. So that's what's kind of a little bit disappointing about ARMS at this point. It's a good game if you like fighting games. It's definitely different than your common Street Fighter or any other Killer Instinct, whatever you want to play. It's definitely unique enough. What?
Or took a random shit on me just now, and muted everything.
Well,
what's going on?
Long story short, ARMS exists.
Yeah.
If you want to play it. If you don't, that's okay. Not many people will blame you.
You're not really missing much.
You're not missing much, but it is still something that I would say, yeah, you should try ARMS. ARMS is fun enough that I'm like, yeah, if you know someone who has it, ask to play it with them. See how it is. See how you like it. But it's not something that I'm gonna be like, oh, you need ARMS if you get a Switch.
But you do need ARMS.
Well, yeah, you need 2 ARMS if you want to play a Switch, or at least one. But
2 human actions, anything.
Yeah. But okay, yeah, that's ARMS. What?
More like spam tune, because we got spammed on Splatoon stuff.
Yeah, we got some. Yeah, when ARMS said that they were going to expand, what they really meant is they were going to expand. Yeah, you like that? Splatoon 2's universe. So we're getting the 1.3.0 update coming in late April, which very soon. This is a absolutely massive update that's coming to Splatoon, which with Splatoon previously we'd get like a couple of new pieces of gear or a weapon, and then a stage like about once a month. But this is a pretty massive update coming up at the end of next month. So we'll be getting 100 new pieces of gear. The Piranha Pit, Camp Triggerfish, and Camp Triggerfish stages from the first game, as well as Wahoo World, which is a new stage to Splatoon 2. And then we have the X rank, which will happen sometime after Splatoon, or after S rank. I only got to S rank in I think it was tower control. So
I'm gonna start posing with the X's, or
well, I mean, if you really wanna expand on that Splatoon, it might mean triple X, but that's up to you. But yeah, Splatoon X, which they say is an extreme. That's what they said. They said extreme, but they didn't really enunciate it. That made it the pun funnier. So I'm upset with that. But Rank X is there. If you play this game all the time, you'll probably love this. If you don't play this game all the time, this will mean nothing. Except if you see anyone with Rank X, you're probably not going to win if you're not on their team.
There's also the new story mode. I think it was. What was it called again? Octo?
Yes, there's the Octo expansion, which is the first paid DLC for Splatoon, which at first is like, oh, paid DLC. Why is it gotta be paid? But this is an absolutely massive update, and $20 is not a terrible price for what you're getting. So you're getting a whole new story mode with 80 new levels in it. That's a lot, because the original Splatoon had only like 28 levels. So you're getting a ton of content here. And then if you manage to beat it all, which, mind you, it's not just like expansion upon the original story mode, it's a whole new story mode with new story, new like level mechanics, all the good stuff.
New like even characters that come out of it too.
Yeah, there's gonna be some new characters, as well as the playable Octoling, which if you haven't really been a fan of Splatoon, you might not know this. But in the original or rather, the Octolings are kind of the villains of the story mode. And then in the original Splatoon, there was a data mine on the game that revealed at one point during development, Octolings were meant to be playable for the player during online matches. And like people like loved this idea once that data mine came out, to the point where like they were like asking the developers when Splatoon 2 was announced, like, come on, playable Octolings, make it happen. And it didn't happen at launch, but we're finally getting it. So once you beat the new story mode, you'll actually be able to take it into the multiplayer, and it's just purely cosmetic. But if you were one of those people that really wanted to play as an Octoling, you got your wish. It's here. It's hype. I really actually kind of love the song that they used for the trailer. Like that song was like really fucking banging. Just gotta say that right now.
That was really good. I like the actual Agent 8 too.
Mm-hmm.
Agent 8 is a cutie.
Yeah, but that's Splatoon. What do you guys think about the massive update to Splatoon?
Tony or me?
Sorry, I'm eating a Pop-Tart.
So I guess you.
Well, I'm excited to see the new outfits. I love the fact that there's going to be hundreds of new outfits. My favorite thing about the game is just playing dress up, let's be honest here. I'm glad that we're getting some new maps. I am so excited for the fact that Marie comes back. And the fact that there's like grinding in that whole entire story mode segment where you're fighting a boss and shit like that, that's dope as hell. It's like Sonic the Hedgehog. And
there was grinding in the original Splatoon 2 story mode.
I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I might have to play that.
It's good shit.
I've been putting off playing Splatoon because I want to get the wired cord adapter for the internet.
Let me tell you something honestly. Like, Splatoon's single player is severely underrated. Like, that is hands down. I mean, I haven't played a ton of single play or like shooters, but even the people that I've listened to and have played, they say that single player is one of the best, absolute best single players that you'll find in a shooter these days. which, I mean, obviously that's up to opinion. You might feel otherwise, but it really isn't just like, oh, here's some missions and a pretty basic plot. Like, no, you get some kick-ass soundtrack that's exclusive to the single player and some mechanics that you won't actually find in the multiplayer mode, which in and of itself is kind of disappointing because I really would like to see some of those stuff appear in multiplayer matches, but just the fact of, like, this isn't just your run-of-the-mill 5-hour adventure at just so you Call of Duty can have some more content to it.
Yeah.
Like, this is legitimately a full-out mode that had a lot of development into it.
And that kind of leads into my opinion about Splatoon, because I think Gabe knows I'm not the biggest fan of Splatoon. I mean, It's not a bad game. I just don't. There's some things that, I mean, I do like it to a certain degree. Like, I'll play it, but it's not my favorite game, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Particularly because Gabe knows I'm not a fan of the motion controls in Splatoon 2.
But you can turn them off.
Yeah, you can, so that's fine. So, Splatoon is that when it comes to these bigger games, I may not like it. Can appreciate when the developers care. And Splatoon is one of the bigger examples of this, along with some of Nintendo's other titles that have big multiplayer focuses and things like that. Because you see all these other games that focus on multiplayer aspects, and not all of them really do care. So it kind of depends, but that's one thing I could appreciate. About Splatoon and what was shown off today was that they really do care about this IP in general.
Yeah, but I mean, if Splatoon Inkling being in Smash really wasn't enough to sell it to you, just look straight at the game itself. We're almost a year past the game's development, and it's still going headstrong with DLC. There is no sign of it letting up anytime soon. Like, they're loving this. We're still getting Splatfests once a month. I mean, I haven't done a Splatfest in forever personally, but those who really do play the game still these days, or want just little reasons to go back to the game, just as in general, like, the Splatfests have been happening every month, as well as new stages, new content. This game has 20 available stages, which, I mean, I haven't played a lot of shooters, so I don't know this particularly, but I don't think that's pretty common, is it, amongst shooters to have that big of a number for stages? Mel?
Say that again?
Is it really common for modern shooters to have 20 plus available stages?
That's the thing. This is a higher number of stages. Like, I feel like especially with how diverse and like how different the strategies are for each of the levels in Splatoon, I feel like it's reasonable for this to be this number. I have never been disappointed. There's like maybe 1 or 2 maps that I'm disappointed in when it comes to Splatoon.
Got something like Call of Duty, and it's kind of like, all right.
Call of Duty would always. That's what I hate about Call of Duty. Call of Duty would have map packs, and the problem with that is, I remember back in the day whenever I would play these games and stuff like that, the map pack, I wouldn't even play the DLC maps. That's what pissed me off as a kid. Like, I could do that playlist where I play only the DLC maps. No. And
yeah, I've never really played a COD game, so I can't really say that.
Oh,
but
you might have to eventually, because the rumor that Black Ops 4 will be on the Switch, maybe.
That is a fact. Like, I think Call of Duty just recently announced. Call of Duty made the announcement that they're going to make an announcement about an announcement. Yes, you heard me right. That's exactly how it is. They're going to make an announcement about when the game is coming out and like what it's gonna be.
Gameplay, search streams Call of Duty live.
I don't think I will. Personally, I'm not really a fan of FPSs. If anything, I like third-person shooters a lot more. I sort of enjoy PUBG. It can get get repetitive and it can get kind of stupid sometimes. But I do like the battle royales a lot more than just your arena-based shooter. That being said, if you like those games, go on ahead, keep liking them. But I've got nothing against you for it. But
Splatoon.
As far as Splatoon is concerned, I really like Splatoon. I actually put 100 hours into the game. I'm probably not going to get very much more than 100 hours because, to be honest, I kind of burnt myself out with trying to play it that much. Like, I almost kind of considered like trying to go into the game competitively. That's how much I was playing it. And then I kind of took a step back and played some other things, and I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of okay with this decision. But Splatoon 2 is still a really good game, and I can't wait. I will definitely be playing I will go back to play the Octo expansion. We don't know when it comes out just yet, the Octo expansion. It's actually separate from the 3.0 update, as far as I'm aware. So I don't know if I'll necessarily go back for the 3.0 update. Although I might just check it out like once or twice for a stream or so. But I will definitely, hands down, be going all in for that Octo expansion mode.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do now. Outlet's starting a professional Splatoon team.
Yeah, we'll be called the what would our name be? What would our Inkling team of 4?
The Surging Ink Drops.
Protect
What?
Wars.
Would you say the Protect Wars?
Oh my god, I love it!
A Search Protector.
Search Protectors!
A Search Protector.
Because they're outlets. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. We'll be the Surge Protectors, and then you're literally I'm just the tank, or like you guys are just the tanks, and I'm the attacker. You guys gotta protect me.
You gotta be the Octoling though if you do.
And
Okay.
that was the end of the presentation. There's nothing else after Splatoon. Nothing else.
To be fair, we could connect it back to Smash if we wanted to.
I mean, we've already
there's
touched on Smash. But
Alright,
who cares about? Okay, but I want to say that when they were like, "Oh, we have one more announcement," I was like, "Oh, dude, it's Smash! It totally is Smash!" And here's why I know this. Like immediately before I even saw the trailer, so I accidentally looked at the web data for the stream, and Super Smash Brothers was actually tagged in the direct.
How dare you? You traitor.
So I actually was like, oh, huh. So either they're just trying to bait views, or Smash Brothers is in this. And when they said we have one more announcement, I was like, oh, there it is. But also, they kind of also, you might not have picked up on this. You kind of have to have a really good memory to remember this. But the very first time that we ever saw Splatoon, the original, was the beginning of that trailer. Like it was just an orange Inkling and a blue Inkling fighting each other in just a white space. And so I was like, huh. So they're porting Splatoon 1? Actually, for a moment I had that thought. I was like, are they really gonna do that? That's kind of stupid considering we just found out that like 2 of the stages from the first game are coming out to Splatoon 2. And then it turns around, the Inkling turns around, they have that fucking sick like movie trailer kind of sound effects happening where it's like and they did like the what is it? The that horn. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
They do it all the time in movies, and then it's like smash.
Yeah, your coworkers had to like make sure you were okay or whatever.
Yeah, I was at work when I saw that part of the direct, and I was like, my coworkers legitimately had to be like, "Are you all right, Gabe?" Because I was like levitating off the ground, basically, of out of excitement, because I was like, "Wow, Smash is actually happening." I was wrong, because again, I was like, "Wow, this Smash isn't gonna happen," and then it did. I don't know if we mentioned this earlier or not. It just kind of popped into my head just now. but I am actually super kind of hyped for the fact that Link is Breath of the Wild Link in this Smash. I really like that because, I mean, Twilight Princess was fine, but I was really hoping in Smash 4 that we'd get some closer to Skyward Sword, and instead we got a weird mix mash, and I always thought that Link looked really strange in Smash Wii U. That might have just been me, but his face just didn't really work. I guess their interpretation was it was the Smash Brothers Link, but I like how this next one is very obviously Breath of the Wild because of obviously the hair, the missing hat, and then just like all the gear on his back is like very clearly this is Breath of the Wild Link. And then of course, just real quick before we end this off, do you guys have any predictions for what this new Smash is going to be like?
It's gonna be a good game.
I feel like
hopefully
they're gonna try and gravitate. I don't know. My instincts say, oh, this is gonna primarily be they're gonna take a lot of the engine from Smash 4 for this.
See, that's what's confusing is we don't have a title. We again, as we mentioned earlier, we know
6.
it's Smash. Well, this is 5 actually, but
no, technically the creator considers Wii U as the 5th.
Does he? Sakurai does?
Yeah, he considers the 3DS the 4th.
Look it up.
Well, either way, this next Smash Bros. Game is it's more likely than not going to be mostly a new game. We'll see a lot of returning things, hopefully. I would hope if a lot of that amazing roster from Smash 4 didn't get cut, because there was 57 characters in that roster after all the DLC. Now, that's a lot to ask for them to all be remade into an entirely new game, which will presumably need new balancing and such, depending on how they go about this. But I'm really looking forward to it. I'm sure we're going to hear a lot about it at E3. But, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's Smash.
Smash.
What about you, Mel?
The most excited thing I am for this direct, or what we think is gonna
about Smash. What do you think Smash is gonna be like? I guess here's something. Here's something different. What is one character? We know about the Inklings are gonna be new characters, obviously, because of the trailer. What is one new or returning character that you specifically want to see? Obviously, I don't mean mention your mains just because I want to play the Little Mac again. No, I mean like, what's a character from like Brawl that got cut? If you need that, if you can't think of,
if you say Brawl,
right? Like you want Snake. A lot of people want
Snake, but the thing is, I really hope they keep all the DLC characters they put in. I hope that they just take this roster and just put it into this game and then add more to it. I'm terrified that we're gonna lose like Cloud and Bayonetta and stuff like that.
I think Bayonetta would stay. Cloud, maybe not.
That's why Cloud
I think if any DLC character gets cut, it's either Cloud or just keep that in mind, and or Ryu.
Yeah, I think Ryu might not make it again.
I think one
maybe
or two of those might get the cut.
But I would honestly prefer if every character was there, and then I mean, let's be real. We're not getting Snake because Konami is a piece of shit, and also like the rights to Snake is like fucked right now. So Snake isn't gonna happen. But I would like to see Wolf again, despite him being a clone of Fox. It was kind of disappointing to see him not appear again in Smash 4. Oddly enough, I would kind of like them to go back to having the Pokemon trainer. I mean, I understand why. They said that they separated the movesets because they didn't want it to be more complex or confusing to have a character with multiple movesets. Hence why Zelda and Sheik were separated. But I really kind of liked Pokemon Trainer and Brawl and how he was able to switch between the 3 Pokemon. If not, I would like to at the very least see Bulbasaur and Squirtle make it into the game. If we can't get Pokemon Trainer back, let's just get those guys back.
Mm-hmm. Mhm. I know exactly who should be in this game. Only one character. Game. There's only one new character.
He's coming to Switch. We might as well just throw Crash Bandicoot in there.
Oh no, I was going to say
Crash for Smash!
I was going to
Crash
say
for Smash!
Waluigi.
Oh
What?
They need
No.
Waluigi.
no,
Waluigi.
Waluigi isn't allowed. He only plays tennis.
No, we need Waluigi. Yeah, exactly. Waluigi.
Waluigi's fighting style is this all time. Oh my god.
It's literally the same thing as his trophy moves and attacks.
Yeah, he only gets the foot stomp and the racket swing. That's all he gets. Just 2
And
moves.
meanwhile, yes, put Crash in the game. Yes, Crash.
Crash for Smash!
Can say
Crash
that
for Smash.
trash tag trending, please.
Crash.
Trash tag.
Crash tag?
No, trash tag, please.
Oh, I thought you said crash tag.
No, we're gonna get the
Team
trash
racing.
tags trending.
Oh no.
Yes, we need Crash for Smash. Actually, speaking of, like, I'd want to get one thing out real quick.
Okay.
My experience learning Smash was announced, like my reaction and stuff, like Gabe's.
Uh-huh.
So I actually took a nap today, and I woke up.
What a-
after the direct.
Can I just stop you there and say that, like, starting a story with "I took a nap today" is possibly the best way to start a story.
Yes, it is, because I woke up after the direct already happened. It was like 6:30, I think it was. So the direct already happened. So like here I am, half awake, trying to Google the replay on YouTube without looking at any other spoilers. And I was slowly waking up after each announcement. And then Smash woke me up because I was like, "What? Smash? Really?"
I honestly was not expecting it until E3. I mean, here it is, but like, I really was thinking that Nintendo was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna bank on this on E3, and then that's how we're gonna win over E3." But I think as the years go by, I've kind of noticed that Nintendo has stopped kind of caring about having like super blowing out E3 presentations, and they just kind of like they use E3 as a window to make announcements, definitely. But they don't exactly treat it like, oh, we have to win this year.
The thing about E3 in general is that E3 is, how do I say this? It's like it's not dead by any means, but it's slowly losing its speed. Because if you look back at like prior to 2013, E3 was big. Yeah, it was like E3 was the big thing. But now you have Nintendo's own directs in the Treehouse and all that. You have PlayStation, the PlayStation Experience. You have all these other sorts of conferences that go on throughout the year that own E3 level reveals and announcements and things like that. And so that isn't to take away all credit from E3, but E3 is definitely not as big and powerful as it was. Considering that this last E3, they made it public attendance and all that for the first time in years.
Here's my question, slightly related. So like before E3, I think the first E3 was either 2000 or 2001, or maybe even 99, somewhere around there. But before E3, there was Space World. Do you think we're going to eventually see a replacement for E3, or do you think E3 is just going to be the norm for the rest of gaming history?
Space World, wasn't that like a Nintendo thing? Space World.
I think it might have been just Nintendo. I don't know. But do you think there would be a replacement for E3, considering it is on the decline?
I guess it's not the decline. It is somewhat, but it's not really that bad.
It's not like on like a steep decline, like, oh, E3 is gonna be gone by 2020.
It's just like there's other events that go on that have just as much.
Like Nintendo has their Nintendo Directs, and Sony has their PlayStation Experience at the end of the year. Do you think E3 is just gonna kind of relegate itself to not exist, or do you think it'll always be around?
Good question. Maybe ask that question again in a couple years. Maybe.
Okay, I'll set a reminder on my phone.
Because I guess it depends on where the game industry goes in the next number of years.
That's kind of
especially with the whole discussion on consoles, like will consoles live past 2020 and things like that.
I don't think consoles are going anywhere. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, at least not in
Yeah,
2020. Like that's pretty recent.
I mean, there's already rumors that PlayStation 5 developer kits already exist, supposedly. And these rumors
It wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me either, honestly. Keep expanding your games.
I guess we'll just have to see where the games go, but I think even if it does get a replacement, it won't be for a little while.
Yeah.
So.
One last thing I wanted to touch on was Smash, even though we kind of already stopped talking about it, but one thing that going into it was I was like when I learned about Smash just today, I was like, yes, Smash, and then I started thinking about it, and I was like, wait a minute, this might not be so good after all, because like Sakurai has said repeatedly that Smash Brothers for Wii U and 3DS absolutely destroyed him. Like, and normally there's like an in-between game between Smash Brothers releases. Like we had Kid Icarus, we had Kirby's Air Ride. Like Sakurai usually always works on something in between games, but here he is going from Smash Brothers straight into Smash Brothers again. So that's interesting, and we don't know entirely, but it's pretty much confirmed at this point that Sakurai is in fact working on this new Smash Brothers. But initially we didn't really know that. All we knew is that Sakurai at one point tweeted something along the lines of like that he was working on something. He was being very vague about it. This was a little bit ago, before the direct, by probably a couple days. I don't remember what day it was, but he said he was working on something and eventually it would be released. There's still a chance that he's not working on this. I think, if anything, he might just be like overseer to the development of it. But I think what's particularly interesting is that this looks like it's going to be a full new Smash Brothers. It's not just a port of Smash Brothers Wii U, considering that it doesn't say Super Smash Brothers for Switch. The site literally says Super Smash Brothers working title, and that it just said Super Smash Brothers, and then it said 2018. And the logo is just a little bit different as well. Like, not too much, but you can see it's just a little bit more different from the original Smash 4 logo before, like, the flames and effects were added to it. So,
yeah,
that's that.
The full tweet that specifically gets people thinking that Sakurai is involved is like, it is a stage of only announcing the title now, and it is muted and it works on production every day. Please wait until it is possible to release the content or to be released, things like that. So I do kind of worry about his health now that you say that, actually, because it's like, yeah, he killed himself over making this game. So,
and like he said the same thing with Brawl too, like, and then he went on to still make Smash 4 regardless.
I don't know.
And then
I think
did
even
no
more. Escape for him. He's not done. He's not going to be done for a while.
Yeah. So
I think eventually he will pass on the hammer to someone else. But I think with the pressure that the Switch has right now, Nintendo's like, all right, we were going to give you a break, but the Switch is doing really well. We kind of need you to knock this one out of the park for us. Then we'll give you your break. Maybe that's what's happening.
How far they'll go with this one, considering how far Smash 4 went, even without DLC. So much shit thrown into it. Don't get me wrong, that's a good thing. But
yeah, there was a ton of stuff to the game.
Now it just begs the question, what are they going to do for this one if it's a new game?
Yeah. I mean, we could go on for hours on speculations of what could a new Smash Brothers have. There's modes, like, I'd like to see, like, melee-style Break the Targets to return. I didn't really like the Angry Birds mode of Break the Targets in Smash 4.
Yeah, I hated that too. I actually see the old return of that. I hope we get another Subspace Emissary-style-esque thing.
See, a lot of people hated Subspace Emissary just because it kind of got repetitive, but I personally loved it. I think it needs to happen, because if there's one thing that Smash 4 really was missing, it was a really interesting single player that, like, expanded, like, with each Smash Brothers installment, we got a little bit more interesting of a single player, with the exception of Smash 4. Like in the original, we had just the classic mode as we know it today, and then in Melee we had the adventure mode where we actually go to these. It was almost like the Subspace Emissary, but much shorter. There's no cutscenes in between, and you go through it with each character individually. And then of course in Smash Brawl we had the Emissary, which was an absolutely long, and I loved it as a kid. Like I loved seeing the characters interact with each other in cutscenes, and I know like Sakurai's main reason was really stupid for not including it in Smash 4, and that was that he felt like seeing the cutscenes themselves was part of the reward in playing Subspace, and he didn't like how a lot of people were just uploading all of the cutscene data onto YouTube, which is understandable to a degree, but also at the same time, like, you don't gotta cut a whole mode out of that. It's just what the internet will do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm just okay. My biggest fears are we lose like a lot of the cool like fucking characters from the roster.
Yoshi, I'm not buying the game.
God, please cut Yoshi.
See, and we don't know about Yoshi in the game yet, because if you look at the silhouettes in that trailer, like Yoshi doesn't appear, of course, but like Yoshi doesn't appear to be in that silhouette. So,
Gabe, I will kill you.
Do it.
All right, if Yoshi's not in the game, I will kill you.
If Yoshi is in the game, I will eat pant.
Eat pant.
Yeah.
Eat pant.
Well,
is there anything
I
else
think. Yeah, is there anything else in general for the entirety of the Direct, or are we all done here?
Got nothing. I think.
Melvin, any last thoughts?
Don't eat the yellow snow. Uninstall Discord. Gabe lives at the address of
Eat Pant Lane.
Oh, he left. Oh, he's in the PUBG. You in the PUBG chat.
Well, I think that'll just about do it for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for watching. If you managed to be hearing this right now, we have a secret message for you, and it is eat pant. But feel free to follow us on Twitch if you'd like to interact with us live. We didn't really have a chat going on tonight, but in future, this is our first time streaming onto the Twitch, so it makes sense that we didn't really have much going for us. But if you'd like to interact with us while we're recording these discussions live, you absolutely may. Our chat will appear on the stream, as a matter of fact, as well. We might even read off what you're telling us and expand upon your thoughts, so that would be something of potential. You can find us on twitch.tv/gamingoutlet, all one word. And if you don't want to follow us on Twitch and you want to be a super duper lame-o coward-bo, I was trying to make a word. I didn't make a word in time, though.
Pants.
Yeah, if you don't want to do that, you can eat pant and instead subscribe on YouTube. And yeah, cool beans, because there'll be more of these in the future, hopefully. But yeah, you just got yourself 2 hours and 50 minutes of Nintendo Direct discussion, so I hope you guys are satisfied.
We're gonna start doing reviews of bad games on Nintendo eShop.
Starting with Sonic Forces.
Hyrule Warriors.
Oh no. Well, before this gets too far out of line, let's go on ahead and get out of here. So,
Bye,
thanks,
stream.
guys.
I love you.